The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
Local sports now.
It's the 302 Sports Friday night downstate game of the week. Welcome to Delaware's premier high school football pregame show, brought to you by Sodell Concepts, 12 chef-driven restaurants on the culinary coast in southern Delaware. Now let's go live to your host of the Sodell Concepts pregame show, Benny Mitchell.
It's week one of high school football here in Delaware, and tonight we have a state line border battle with the Colonel Richardson Colonels at 1-0 and the Woodbridge Blue Raiders also at 1-0. About 15 miles and a state line separate these two schools with very similar communities. Several of these players on either team are related. In fact, talking with Coach Jackson, he said a few of the Woodbridge players are his family. But outside the social outlook of tonight's game, this game is going to feature two athletes that can find the end zone. The Colonels' Taryn Hammond rushed for 3 TDs last week, threw for 2 others, while Woodbridge's Tracy Johnson also scored 3 touchdowns while rushing for 167 yards on 26 carries. Expect Coach Dooley and Jackson to lean on these guys tonight to provide the offense. Let me bring my broadcast partner, Scott Cameron. Scott, interesting game here tonight. You know, like I said, two communities that they mirror each other on opposite sides of the state line. In fact, talking about having families, I have family in both these communities. So, you know, a lot of these kids know each other. Some of the players are related, and it's a matchup we've never seen before until this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I mean, a lot of these guys know each other. I'm going to call it a friendly rivalry. It seems like everyone's excited to play. They're excited to put it on the line. This almost has the feel of like a Thanksgiving Day game from back in the day. And I love that the Eastern Shore and Western Sussex County are so connected, and that they're going to put it on the line here tonight for, we're going to call it local bragging rights.
Right, or the border brawl.
The border brawl.
Yeah. The Colonels, they routed Washington High School last week, 57-0. The score doesn't impress me as much as the fact that 7 different players found the end zone for Colonel Richardson, as well as 2 TDs were on the defense and 1 on special teams. E.J. Jones had 2 scoop-and scores for the Colonials, while Chatty Drick Pickram returned a kickoff 75 yards. The Colonels may be a small team, but they fly around on defense and they make plays, and they like to sometimes make those plays and play in the other team's backfield. On offense, they run the double wedge, not an offense you see very often, close to the Smyrna Earthquake, except with some motion from the wingbacks. And Hammond has the ability to drop back and throw the ball. I'm interested to see how Coach Julie's prepared his defense for the Colonels.
Yeah, and looking at the roster, the Colonels have 65 players, but they're traveling with 28, and they are young, Benny. They have a lot of freshmen.
2 seniors.
2 seniors, and that says something about their team. And watching Taryn Hammond on tape, this young man can light it up. He had all those touchdowns. We were watching the tape, and I said, man, what quarter is it? And it was only the first. And
right, 3 touchdowns in the first.
3 touchdowns in the first. So the big story for me is the Colonels are young, but they can be electric, and they have pretty good size up front. So we'll see if they could push it around a lot. The heat may play a factor here tonight because it is unusually hot for September. So we'll see if depth has anything to do with it. But as far as star power goes, the Colonels have all they need to win this game here tonight.
Right. Woodbridge did coming off a 2-8 season last year after playing in the Division II state championship game in 2021. The Blue Raiders went up 14-0 at the half in Seaford last week, but the Blue Jays made it a game in the second half. A 4-yard touchdown pass from Zach Plummer to Jakir Banks in the fourth quarter was the difference as Woodbridge won their season opener 26-20. Coach Dooley may have to find some offense production from some other players other than Tracy Johnson, who was the bulk of the offense last week. Quincy Risper returns this week for the Blue Raiders, which is going to help Woodbridge on both sides of the ball. He's just a great athlete, a wrestler, a two-way player on the for the Blue Raiders. The Woodbridge defense, they could be the difference tonight. They caused 5 turnovers last week against Seaford, 4 fumbles, and an interception. And Scott, Woodbridge plays in a tough district with Laurel, Sussex Tech, Delmar, Milford, and Lake Forest later in the season. A non-conference win tonight, maybe a must if we're going to see the Blue Raiders in the Class AA state tournament come November.
Absolutely, and I think at the beginning of the year, if you ask Coach Dooley, he wants to get to that title game that they were in 21, and he feels like he has the athletes to do it, and he has the players. And you're absolutely right. This is the old Henlopen South, and these guys play hard. Delmar, Milford, Lake Forest, Sussex Tech, Woodbridge. This is a tough district, and this is almost a must-win for Woodbridge to have the season they want. And it's a foe that, even though they've probably never played before, they are familiar with each other because they're so closely related. So it's going to be an interesting game, and I think it's going to come down to the big play players on both sides of the ball. Who's gonna deliver when the lights come on? Who's gonna deliver when it's on the line? And that's really gonna be the difference tonight. And we're excited to see who it's gonna be, who's gonna step up for Woodbridge.
As always, we always look forward early season to the third quarter. What happens in the third quarter, folks? We'll be right back after this commercial timeout. You're watching Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports. You're watching the Sodell Concepts pregame show with Benny Mitchell and Scott Cameron. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Scott Cameron, president of Sodell Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Sodell Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Sodell Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out. Hi, I'm Scott Cameron from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the raw bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon.
And welcome back to the Sodell Concept pregame show. Benny Mitchell and Scott Cameron on the camera. Tonight, Donald Flowers and Dave Marvel with our stats. It's time for the Arena Deli's players to watch. Arena's Deli's 6 locations. The original location downtown Rehoboth Beach. Arena's Cafe on Highway 1 Rehoboth. In Lewis at the Village of 5 Points. At the airport in Georgetown, Milford. And the new Arena's Pub on Coastal Highway in Lewis. And we're going to start with the Colonel Richardson Colonels tonight. And first guy we're going to talk about is Carter Turbot. He had a 21-yard touchdown run last week. Like I said, 7 different players got in the end zone for Colonel Richardson. This guy plays on both sides of the ball, and he's a speedster.
Yeah, and he absolutely can fly. Carter Turbot, he's a junior for Colonel Richardson, and he scored that 21-yard TD last week. And you almost wish that Colonel Richardson saved some of those touchdowns
right.
For this week, because so many different players scored, so many guys did so many different things. But we might see against this Woodbridge has a more stout of a defense than Washington did, so we're really going to see which players are really able to score for the Colonels tonight.
And then number 19, Dominic Caver, he had one of those touchdown passes from Hammond last week. He had a 36-yard TD reception. Also, another guy you'll see on both sides of the ball tonight.
Yeah, and with the heat, guys like Dominic Caver, we're going to see how it's going to affect them, because I don't think he took off very many snaps at all, and he's probably not. They're not going to have him take off very many snaps tonight. When you travel with 28 guys, you're going to have your best athletes on the field at all times. So we'll see if that's a factor. Like you said, we'll see what happens in the third quarter. But absolutely, Caver can play ball, and they're going to try and get it to him. They're going to try and get it to him in space. They're going to try and get it to him maybe on a skinny post or on a go route, and they're going to try and get the ball in his hands. And for them to win, he's going to have to score for him.
And then the big guy. He came on last year about midway through the season to take over as a starting quarterback. And this year he just comes out and he's impressive. Number 10, the quarterback, Teron Hammond. 2 touchdown passes last week, a 22 and a 36-yarder. Had 3 rushing touchdowns, and all that was in the first quarter.
Yeah, and if you look at him, he's a lefty. He throws a really tight spiral. He's got good height. He could see over the line. He makes good decisions. He's got a nice drop back. He's really not in a hurry. He doesn't seem super stressed when he's in the pocket. So to me, he's starting to look like the total package for what we've seen in the season so far. And he's just a junior, so usually when they're a junior, they will continue to get better as the season goes on. And this is the second game, so we'll see what kind of improvements he's made, and we'll see if he can improve off of his 5 TDs from last week.
And he sets the bar high, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sets the bar really high.
0. Let's go to the Woodbridge Blue Raiders. We're going to start with the big two-way tackle, Jacob Bollinger, number 79. He provides the middle of the line there for Woodbridge. They're going to need tonight to slow down this double wedge.
Yeah, and he's a senior, so you're looking for some leadership out of him, and you're looking for him to collapse his side of the line. You're looking maybe to eat up some double teams and provide the linebackers some room to operate. You're looking for him to maybe make some plays in the backfield, and if he can get some pressure on Hammond, or he could jam up the line and force some other players to make plays. But regardless, he might not show up in the stat sheet a ton, but what he does and how he plays will go a long way toward deciding this game.
Second-year quarterback, number 11, Zachary Plummer, 4 of 11 last week with a touchdown and an interception, but the touchdown was a big one in the fourth quarter, the 4-yard touchdown pass. Yeah,
and anytime you play a close rival like Seaford, the pressure gets amplified up, and Zachary Plummer performed really good under a pressure situation. 4 for 11 and an interception. He's probably going to want to improve on that a little bit here today, but he definitely has the capabilities of doing that. He also is just a junior, so he's going to improve as the season goes on, and Coach Dooley, I think, is ready to dial up some stuff for his quarterback.
And this guy, not a lot of size to this guy, but he can fly. Number 8, Tracy Johnson, 26 carries, 163 yards. He had 3 touchdowns last week, and this kid he hits the hole, Scott, and if he gets past the second level, it's a problem.
Yeah, and Tracy Johnson's a senior, and we talked about that last year. He hits the hole at full speed. You know, sometimes you get those scat backs where they're going to assess the situation and try and make a decision and then make like a quick cut. He's not about that. He hits that hole, and if there's space, he's going to get there. So 163 yards on 26 carries, that's the definition of a workhorse, of a guy that's going to carry the offense. He had 3 TDs. If he could repeat that here tonight or anything close to that, I think the Woodbridge Raiders are going to walk away with a victory.
Those are your Arenas Deli players to watch. Arenas Delis. See them all around Lewis and Rehoboth, Georgetown, and Milford. Check them out. We'll be right back after these commercial timeouts.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Welcome back to Greenwood. You're watching the Citadel Concepts pregame show on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports. As we're getting closer to the kickoff for the Downstate Friday night game of the week, it's time for tonight's X's and O's. Scott, let's talk about the Colonels. To be successful tonight, I think, number one, they have to shorten the game because Woodbridge has that tendency to score quick.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems with those quick scoring offenses. You definitely got to shorten the game. You got to slow it down. You got to limit their possessions. You know that they're going to score on a certain amount of possessions, so the least amount of possessions that you can hold them to, the better. But you do not want to let Tracy Johnson get going and get 30 carries. That's the last thing that you want if you're Colonel Richardson.
And I just feel kind of with the offense that Colonel Richardson wants, they need a couple stops on defense tonight.
Yeah, and we keep going back to it with that many guys going both ways in the heat. They gotta get stops. They absolutely have to get stops, and they need to get them to get their offense to have some room to operate. So without a doubt, getting a couple of big stops early on, we talk about it a lot. If you can get that last stop of the second quarter, first stop of the third quarter, get your offense back with the ball, it can go a long way towards stealing the game.
And finally, get off the field on third down. Do not give Woodbridge any extra plays.
Yeah, and that's really what you don't want. You don't want them converting third and short, third and 3, third and 4. That's really the last thing. I mean, if you look at the prognostic picks of this game, most people have Woodbridge by a touchdown or 2, and for them to flip it, for Colonel Richardson to flip it, and I don't think the game. I think it's a close, tight game here tonight, and I think they have to get off the field on third down. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be exciting, and I think these kids are going to leave it all out on the line. But at the end of the day, we've seen it time and time again. The team that commits the least amount of penalties and gets off the field on third down tends to win these big games.
And for Woodbridge, what do the Blue Raiders need to do tonight, Scott? Number one, we say it almost every time we come here. They have to limit the penalties.
Yeah, and that's about the discipline, and we've seen it get better. We've seen at times where it's been all over the place. We've also seen them when they were super disciplined, and when they're super disciplined and don't give it away. Last week, some of the biggest plays of the game were 15-yard penalties that were tacked on. So that really was a difference in a lot of ways between the games that we saw last week between Laurel and Sussex Central. So that's what you don't want to see today. You want to see limited penalties, and definitely the unsportsmanlike conduct is something that you do not want to see.
And playing this double wedge, they need to be tough in the defensive front. They're going to have to throw some bodies in there and plug up some holes.
Yeah, and the double wedge is a definition of smash mouth football. Yeah. So, I mean, they're coming at you, and they're going to hit you in the mouth, and it's going to be how you respond. And that's really the biggest thing, to be tough on defense, but can you be tough on defense for 4 quarters, and that's the question.
And finally, cause a turnover or get a special team score tonight.
And, they say defense wins games, but special teams win the big games. Right. And something's going to break, a kickoff return, a punt return. Whose way is it going to break? Those are the questions that we're looking forward to. With all these athletes on the field, someone's breaking something, so that's what we're really looking forward to.
Folks, you're watching the Sodell Concepts pregame show on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports. And coming up, as we wrap up the pregame show, our game is sponsored by First State Orthopedics, and we're going to hear a word from them right now. We'll be right back after this commercial timeout.
First State Orthopedics statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
And welcome back to Delaware Live Sports Downstate Game of the Week, brought to you by 302 Sports. I'm Benny Mitchell. Providing color tonight for tonight's game is my broadcast partner, Scott Kammerer, Donald Flowers on the camera, and Dave Marvel is our statistician. Your halftime and post-game stats brought to you by Surf Bagel. We're approaching kickoff, so let's check out the playing conditions of the field with the turf report. We're playing on Bermuda grass. I'd say, Scott, looks like it's in excellent condition. Of course, it's the first game out here. Temperatures tonight, 87 at kickoff, but it feels like 94, 59% humidity out there tonight. 6-mile-an-hour wind from the south. All that's going to do is bring some flies, probably.
I tell you right now, this field looks like it could take some of my short game in golf, so it's looking excellent. So they're getting ready for the kickoff, for the coin toss, and Quincy Risper, number 5 for Woodbridge, is heading out there. He's heading out there with Samuel Schroeder. He's a senior, number 7, and Jacob Bollinger, the man in the middle for Woodbridge. We'll see how he fares tonight, and in a lot of ways that may be how Woodbridge is going to go. For Colonel Richardson, it's number 2, Carter Turbot, the junior. You have Taron Hammond, the quarterback, with the 5 touchdowns last week. Dominique Haven, He's a junior. He's out there for the coin toss. And then you also have Brennan Thomas, 72. He's a senior, and he's going to be playing a lot of snaps tonight too, Benny.
Right. We'd like to take a time to thank our 2023 sponsors, Barclay Heating and Air. We could use them in this press box tonight. It is hot here in Greenwood. Capstone Homes, Jawan Johnson State Farm, Arena's Delis, Active Pest Solution. They'll bring you the pest of the game at the end of the game. Louis Pizza, a sponsor of the play of the game, 11 Rehoboth Avenue, just steps from the beach and boardwalk. Sodell Concepts and Grandpa Max. Those are our sponsors for this year, and we deeply appreciate their support and their support of high school sports and youth sports in general. Let's talk about some rankings, Scott. We're in Class 2A. Woodbridge not ranked in the preseason. In AA, Caravel is ranked number 1. They were the state finals last year, followed by Lake Forest, Laurel, Delaware Military, Red Lion, Howard, and Archmere. So, you know, there's a couple of our downstate teams right up top, Lake Forest and Laurel, and Caravel the team to catch.
Yeah, and we got to see Lake Forest last year. We saw Laurel this year. DMA actually had a pretty good game with Slasianum. Red Lion took Cape, which is a larger school, right to the limit, and Howard and Archmere are always tough schools. So I think AA, to be honest with you, seems like the toughest, the most competitive of the divisions.
Let's move to the small class, Class A. Tatnall, number 1, Indian River, number 2, Wilmington Charter, St. Elizabeth, Conrad, Glasgow, and McKean. So there's the lone Indian River, the lone downstate representative hanging around at number 2.
Yeah, and I actually think St. Elizabeth is going to be the dangerous team coming out of Single A. I actually got to watch them a little bit, and I was impressed by what they were putting together. Tatnall, of course, had that dream season last year.
Right.
So it's interesting. And Indian River, I have not seen them, and I don't think – are they on our schedule this year?
We do not have an Indian River game.
But we're going to have to go check them out and see what they're all about, because a preseason number 2 ranking means that they definitely have something going on.
Right. And then 3A, the big schools, Middletown, Smyrna, Dover, Sussex Central, Slasianum, St. George's, and St. Mark's. We saw Sussex Central, the number 5 ranked team in the state, and for as much as they lost, they looked pretty darn good last week beating Laurel.
I couldn't believe they had no returning starters on offense, and they looked exactly the same as they did last year. They just came out, they took care of business. They ran pretty much the same sets they've been running for 20 years.
40.
Yeah, and Laurel had a hard time stopping them. So that really worked. And St. Mark's, which is the smallest school by attendance that's moving up. They moved up from double to triple, and there was some controversy on that. And here they are; they're ranked.
Right.
So they're doing something right, and they're in the right spot.
When we were just Division I and Division II, St. Mark's couldn't make the Division II playoffs. But they can make the Division I playoffs as a Division II size school.
Yeah.
So maybe it's playing to the level of your competitor. And here come the Woodbridge Blue Raiders. Colonel Richardson already on the field. And as we said, mirror communities. Very similar. Federalsburg and Bridgeville, Greenwood, very similar communities. Both farming communities, and again, several of these kids are related to each other across the field. We're going to take a cut here for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I believe we're going to have the ROTC present the colors, so we'll be right back.
For the presentation of colors by the Woodbridge Marine Corps JROTC. Your color guard for this evening is Color Sergeant Cadet First Sergeant Malachi Coverdale, Left Rifle Cadet Lance Corporal William Smith, Marine Corps Flag Holder Cadet Corporal Donnie McClements, Right Rifle Cadet Lance Corporal Hunter Payton. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem will be performed this evening by the Woodbridge Marching Band.
National Anthem brought to you by the Woodbridge Blue Red Band. Scott, look below us, and there are quite a few players from the For Troy Foundation Pop Warner team. In honor of Troy Haynes, the foundation his mother began, started a football program for Woodbridge area youth.
Yeah, and let me tell you, they look like they're ready to play tonight.
That's right.
Yeah, they look like they came ready in case Woodbridge needs a few extra guys.
Threw the fours up there in the national
anthem.
Ready to go.
They're ready. They look like players. And good crowd here tonight. Woodbridge side full, standing room around the fence. So that's good to see. And we're happy that anyone joining us that couldn't make it to the game tonight or it's home, rather watch it on YouTube or TV. And we're hopefully we'll have a really good game and a fun time tonight for all the kids involved.
Dave. And we're ready for kickoff. Woodbridge will be kicking off. Woodbridge in the white helmets and all blue jerseys. And they'll be moving from left to right on your computer screen. And Colonel Richardson in the black helmets and white jerseys. And Derek Mitchell is going to fall on the ball at about the 22-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colonel Richardson Colonels.
We're going to call that a squib kick from freshman number 14, Evan Woodall. Good thing about the squib kick, not much of a return.
No return there. As you see in up right corner of your screen, the First State Orthopedics, they sponsor all of our games of the week, and that's what we have here tonight. So 1st and 10 for the Colonel Richardson Colonels. They're going to start at their own 22-yard line. And Scott, like I said, this is an offense that you don't see much, the double wedge.
Yeah, and it looks like they got 6 guys on the line for Woodbridge and 3 linebackers. So they're playing a run-stop defense, obviously.
And the ball looks like it went to Mitchell on the carry, number 23, and he gains no yards. They're going to bring up 2nd and 10. So Woodbridge look like they're running a 6-2 and pinching at the tackles and filling up holes.
Yeah, and what they're going to try and do is it looks like 15 and 7 are going to fill holes straight ahead of them, so they're looking to get all 8 gaps. And then the middle linebacker is probably playing more like a rover type position where he's just going to scrape and try and fill to wherever they go. You don't see a lot of misdirection from the Colonels, so it looks like Quincy Risper, number 5, is going to be the big tackler tonight. Sometimes they'll call it like a monster back kind of situation.
2nd and 10 from the 22. And it's going to be a toss. It's bobbled by number 2, Carter Turbett. He's able to fall on the ball, but they're going to lose a chunk of yards there. And it's going to bring up 3rd down. Scott, one thing about this game's not going to take long because Colonel Richardson is in no hurry to break the huddle and run that next play. They take their time and they chew up clock. That's what we talk about, shortening the game.
Yeah, and as a slightly larger lineman myself, I much prefer the slower game to the run and gun. We ran a run and gun offense one year, and I told Coach, I can't do this.
Right. Hey, they run this thing down in Delaware called the wing tee. You think we can do that a little bit?
Yeah, I think we could switch to something else. Yeah, can we switch to the earthquake?
3rd and 17 for the Colonels. Hammond under center. And he's going to drop straight back, looking out to his left, looking for Turbett. He's overthrown it, picked off by number 3, Miles Martin. And he's got some running room down the sidelines. He's going to go out of bounds at about the 32. So,
yeah, and Emmanuel Miles Martin was really just playing center field back there. It looks like they had 2 defensive backs back. He had deep third, and he just dropped and settled center field, and the ball was up for grabs. He went up and got it at the highest point, and nice little return. So we're going to see Woodbridge is going to have their first real chance here to try and score. And a lot of times, and I've seen Coach Dooley do this a lot, when he gets a turnover, he kind of goes for the jugular.
Right, you'll probably see Johnson coming out of this pistol real quick. It looked like that somebody wasn't on the same page on the last play because the receiver ran and out, and he threw a little bit of a fly pattern. So
yeah.
1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders coming out of the pistol with an up back.
It was a nice spiral.
It was. Plummer at the quarterback, takes a snap, and there he goes, pitches out to Johnson. Johnson finds some blockers. He's got some room on the right side, slips and falls, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Gain of about 4 on the play for Johnson.
And Johnson's so powerful. I mean, he's got those strong hips, and when he sets his foot, and goes upfield, he is tough to stop, and it takes more than one tackler to stop him. In that case, he slipped. But he had a nice hole. I mean, he had some blockers out in front of him. He had 79 out in front, and he was ready for a big gain. So we'll see if they come right back, and they're probably going to go to the wide side of the field on this play, though. I doubt they're coming short.
Make it a gain of 5 on the play. 2nd and 5 for the Blue Raiders. One receiver split motion goes to the far side. It's going to be inside handoff to Risper. He's got some running room on the inside. He's got enough for the first down.
Risper running really good. Head up, head on the swivel, coming through that line, looking for the linebacker. Made one little stutter step, and he's a running back that looks for contact. He's not looking to avoid contact.
It's going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders. Ball at the Colonel Richardson 23-yard line. I like the 4 line markers across the field. Scott makes it so much easier to call this game. Thank you to the Woodbridge custodial staff for playing this field.
They're doing an excellent job.
Yes, they
this
are.
year.
1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders in plus territory. And it's going to be Johnson off the left side, cuts to the outside, has some running room. There's a flag on the play. I think this is coming back.
Yeah, and we talk about it all the time. Holding at the point of attack is going to get called every time. If you want to hold on the backside. They never call that.
Right.
But, holding at the point of attack, they probably are going to call every time. And Johnson, he had some room to work with. And once he gets out there in the open field, he's a problem to take down one-on-one.
There was a couple guys holding their hands up like, what? But there was 2 flags on the play.
Yeah. That's a party foul. You just throw it on whoever you see.
That's right. So that's going to be a 10-yard mark-off against the Blue Raiders.
And that's the mistakes that we've been talking about, Benny, that, that's not what you want. You got a nice turnover. You got a good drive going. You're in a position, one or two plays, you're in the red zone. All of a sudden now you got a holding play, and you're pushed back 10 yards.
1st and 20 for the Blue Raiders.
10 yards, sorry.
And it's going to be Johnson up the middle. A little cut, and he may have gotten about a yard. It's going to bring up 2nd and 19 for
And this
Woodbridge.
is really the stop that Colonel Richardson needs. This would be an ideal place for them to get a big stop, after the turnover. I mean, we talked about one of the keys of the game. At some point,
make a stop.
They're going to have to make a couple stops, and this is an opportunity to do that.
No score here in the first quarter. Woodbridge with their first offensive possession, an interception got them the ball, and now they're 2nd and 19 from the Colonel Richardson 33-yard line.
Yeah,
and the pistol with an up back.
2nd and 19, you don't call a play, you call a player.
Right. And it's going to be Whisper with some running room. Stiff arms, breaks a tackle at the 20. Another stiff arm down at the 5. He stays on his feet, and he's going to be down inside the 1-yard line.
Yeah, in a situation like that, you give it to one of your guys that can pick up big yards. And Risper, same play they ran earlier in the series. He just made that move and made a cut instead of going to contact. I thought maybe there was a face mask at the end, but the referee was right there on top of it. Sometimes when you see the guys go down in that manner, it's a face mask, but he didn't call it.
1st and goal from the 1. I formation with Risper under center, and that's going to be Johnson takes it in for a Woodbridge touchdown. The Raiders strike first.
The Raiders' offense looks really good, and with this heat and the amount of guys going 2 ways, that could spell trouble for Colonel Richardson.
So Tracy Johnson has to do it twice just to get credit for 1 touchdown, and he gets the 1-yard run after the big run by Risper.
And Tracy Johnson is difficult to tackle. I mean, he's a problem. I mean, he's an absolute problem for any defense in the state.
Woodbridge going to go for 2 here. Johnson again, similar to that earthquake formation that Smyrna runs. And it's going to be 7-0. Take our first time out with Woodbridge in the lead, 7-0.
Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes.
And welcome back to Greenwood. My correction on the score, folks. That was a 2-point conversion by the Woodbridge Blue Raiders. And it's 8-0 here with 7:25 to play in the first quarter. Woodbridge will kick it away. That's number, I believe that's 14, isn't it?
Yeah, that's 14, the freshman Evan
Woodall.
he had the squib kick earlier. But, you know, you got to think that Woodbridge maybe scripted a lot of those plays. You come out, you got your first 20 plays or first 10 plays scripted, and they must have seen something because they ran one play 3 times and the other play 2 times, and all of them for yards.
This one taken inside the 30 by number 11, Jazir Dickerson. He's broke free through the pack. One guy to beat, and he's not going to do it. It's going to be out of bounds at about the Woodbridge 25-yard line. I hear whistles, but no flag.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about in the pregame, Benny, that they're going to need their athletes to make plays like that. We thought maybe we'd see a return of some kind or a big play like that, and that's a heck of a start for Colonel Richardson. And that shows a lot of character because, you know, you kind of, you know, you give up turnover, and then they march right down on you and score, and you come right back and say, you know what, we're in this game. We got some players ourselves, and that's Jazir Dickerson.
Well, the whistles were that he stepped out of bounds at the 34.
And he's a freshman, number 11.
This is a young Colonel Richardson team. They're going to be fun to watch over in Maryland in the next couple of years. So 1st and 10 from the Woodbridge 34-yard line.
That is a tight formation.
It's going to be a toss to Mitchell. He finds some running room on the inside, and he's going to take it down inside the 30. Correction, inside the 20. They're in the red zone. 1st down, Colonel Richardson.
Yeah, and that's Quincy Risper on the tackle. We talked about him, and also number 2, Jakir Banks. So those are looking like your big tacklers for the evening.
Not before the Colonels pick up the 1st down, though.
First down for the Colonels at the Woodbridge 17. So they tried to go inside. That time they went a little bit off tackle just inside the end, Scott. So found a way to their blocking scheme to open up that 6-2.
And that's one of the things, you know, you get these backs that are kind of, you know, like he fumbles it again.
Turbot dropped the ball again.
But, you know, you get a back like number 2, Carter Turbot, who's behind this big line, and there's a lot of activity. He's catching the ball, and he's maybe looking for a seam to rip off a big gain.
Cameron Johnson on the tackle for the Blue Raiders is going to be a loss of about 6. For the Colonel, it's going to bring up 2nd and 16. Hammond bringing the play in from the sideline.
And those are really the mistakes you got to avoid when you're running this kind of offense. You can't have negative plays and be moving backwards when you're just running the ball at that pace downhill and just looking for 3 to 5 yards of carry.
It's not the kind of offense that gets you back in the games. It's the kind of offense that keeps you out in front during games.
Yes.
Hammond goes under center.
This is not the West Coast offense.
And
looks
we
like
got
offsides.
Some movement.
Yeah, on Woodbridge.
Movement up front.
And the stances of these Colonel Richardson players, Scott, you can't even see the quarterback, much less the 3 backs in the backfield.
It's some tight splits. It's almost like the tight splits when the kids are getting tired and making mistakes at the end of the game, and the coach calls timeout and is like, hey, get your splits back. I mean, these splits are like goal line stand splits.
So that one's going to go against Colonel Richardson, a false start, loss of 5. And it's going to be a 2nd and 21 for Colonel Richardson. And this isn't a 2nd and 21 build offense.
No, and you hate to see them keep shooting themselves in the foot and put themselves in bad positions. They had the fumble, then they have the penalty. So this is not where they want to be. So, you know, maybe we're going to see a big play out of Hammond here. He's been an electric player so far this season, so we'll see if he could break loose with something.
Motion from Turbot. It's going to be a toss to Turbot. This time he gets the toss, breaks a couple tackles, but cleaned up by number 5, Quincy Whisper. That's a guy they missed last week.
Yeah, and Quincy Risper, he's got probably 3 tackles already, and he's playing that position where the 6 guys on the D line are trying to eat up blocks, and they're just trying to leave openings. They're trying to keep anybody from getting to the 2nd level to get really tight into him and into his face. So if he can be free to roam and make plays, he's got closing speed. He's got excellent closing speed. So we'll see him in a lot of plays tonight. Gain
Gain of 3 for the Colonels. 3rd and 19. Turbot in that short little motion there. Hammond going to drop back, throws, has number 20, T.J. Wenger. And they're going to get a pickup of about 15, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I'll tell you what, that was another nice spiral by Hammond. He can throw the ball. I mean, he threw it actually in the what I would consider traffic.
You talk about throwing through a window.
Yeah, I mean, he threw it through a tight window for high school. You know, in pro and college, maybe not as much, but I mean that was a really nice throw in traffic and excellent catch. So this is absolutely 4-down territory.
4th and call it 3 for Colonel Richardson at the 11-yard line of Woodbridge. And it's going to be a little fake up the middle with number 44, Colin Brewer. The reverse had me fake, but it didn't fake Woodbridge. They just couldn't bring the man down.
If I was a middle linebacker, I would have been on 23 on the sweep to the near side.
Right, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So they pick up a first down.
So first and goal from the 3-yard line.
And this is what this offense is built for right here. So they probably have a ton of different choices.
As you like to say, matriculate down
That's
the field.
it. They're matriculating the ball down the field.
Hammond goes under center. Turbot in the motion. And it's going to be a counter handoff to Mitchell, and he is in for the touchdown. Or is he?
I had him in.
Nobody's thrown up a sign yet.
They haven't thrown it up, but
they threw it up in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he
So
definitely.
touchdown for Colonel Richardson.
And that's 23. Derek Mitchell. Yeah, he's a sophomore. He's looking good. A little misdirection play, belly fake. They faked it up the middle, and then second guy through.
It's very similar to the Sussex Central counter play. They run that little inside handoff to the wing.
I think actually looking at that, the refs might have thought the other guy had the ball.
Right.
That's why they were a little slow on the touchdown call.
Same play. But this time it's going to get wrapped up. That's number 10 on the, is that 10 or that's number 10 on the tackle, Logan Morgan. Oh, Moran. So, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial timeout. Your score, Woodbridge 8, Colonel Richardson 6. We'll be right back.
In life, some things just go together, like a burger and fries, and home and auto insurance from State Farm. So make it a combo. Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Just call State Farm agent Juwan Johnson and find out how you could start saving today. It's just another way we're here to help life go right.
And welcome back to Greenwood. Your score 8-6. The Woodbridge Blue Raiders in the lead. A 2-point conversion, the difference so far. And Scott, we're seeing two ground game attacks really getting the job done so far here.
I'm saying keep scoring, man. I'm like what I'm seeing out of both these teams. Carter Turbot and Derek Mitchell carrying the bulk of the load there with Hammond thrown in with a beautiful little pass over the middle. And Colonel Richardson firing on all cylinders there,
right.
Even with a couple penalties, even with a couple fumbles. They just straight up matriculated the ball down the field. And they didn't convert their 2-point conversion, but it looks like they're going to score a lot of points this game.
Right. So here we go, Colonel Richardson kicking off for the first time. It's going to be number 32, Morgan Demir, to kick the ball away. .358 to go here in the first quarter. And that's a high, deep kick. Going to take it about the 4-yard line.
Great kick.
And that is number 2, Banks. Cuts it up inside. He does have a wall if he can get to it. Steps out of a tackle and taken down by number 22, Lothar Gabriel. And he's going to go down and out about his own 34-yard line. 1st and 10, Blue Raiders.
Yeah, that's good field position. Anytime you could start on the 35, that's excellent field position. And he looked like a kick returner, and he looked like he could go electric. And he was a couple blocks away from getting to that wall and really taking it to the house.
1st and 10, Woodbridge at their own 34-yard line.
So let's see if Woodbridge goes right back to what they were doing with Risper and Tracy Johnson.
Now the pistol with enough back, split to the far side, and another receiver split to the near side. Plummer takes the shotgun snap, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson goes sideways through the hole, and he's inside the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. This young man's got some juice, Scott Cameron. He's got a touchdown for the Blue Raiders.
And, Benny, he had 26 carries last week. If he has 26 carries this week, He's going to score 9 touchdowns.
Comes off the field telling Coach, feed me.
Yeah, feed me. That's right. And he had excellent vision on that. He sliced through the line and cut all the way back against the green.
What they call getting skinny.
That's it. And he got all the way to the near sideline and just put on the Jets.
Woodbridge will go for 2 here. 3:36 to go here in the game in the first quarter.
He wants the ball, Benny. He wants Coach to give him the ball.
That looks like it's going to be number 8 again, Tracy Johnson. He's put all the points on the board tonight as Woodbridge goes up 16-6. Folks, We'll be right back after this commercial timeout.
Congratulations, Dover Federal, on 60 years in business in Delaware.
You've been by our side since our doors opened.
Thank you so much for giving me a call on so many years ago when I had no credit.
You helped our business grow into what it is today.
As a military family, thank you for supporting the financial needs of servicemen and their loved ones.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
And welcome back to Woodbridge High School here in Greenwood, Delaware. You're watching Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports, bringing you 2 games tonight. The only 2, I think, going on right now. Hodson and Caravel underway, and our North State crew with Nick Alessandrini calling that game from Caravel Academy.
Yeah, and Tracy Johnson with 12 points already, 16 points already.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions, and we said get that man something to drink on the sideline, and let's get him back in there.
Picked up by number 19, Dominic Caven, and he's going to get ahead for about 8 yards, maybe 10. He's hard to bring down, and he'll go down. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Colonel Richardson at their own 46-yard line.
And with 3.5 left in the first quarter, excellent field position, and honestly, Colonel Richardson's looking to get right back on it,
right.
and just keeps hammering down on it. I mean, this is turning into a heavyweight
It is.
slugfest.
It is. Colonel Richardson, they don't score a lot quickly. They can. They do. Hammond does have the ability to throw the ball. But this offense is really, unless they run a reverse, is not really designed to go for big chunks.
They need to answer this because
yeah, you're right.
The last thing you want is Johnson and the rest of the team, Woodbridge, getting on a roll like that.
1st and 10 for the Colonels.
And we talked about in the pregame, slowing them down with your own offense.
And it's going to be number 2, Turbot, off the right side. He's got some running room, but he's going to be dragged out of bounds. But he's got enough for the first down.
I really like the way they're running that. Turbot's very patient. He waited for the blockers to develop. Sometimes young guys get way ahead of themselves. They overrun their blocks. But he sat back. He waited for his lineman to create a little seam,
right.
and he ran for daylight. He ran for space.
It looks like they're kind of zone blocking there on the outside. So he's waiting to see where that's going to open up at.
I always love a good zone block because you take him where he wants to go.
That's right.
Yeah. Rather than trying to reach or hook him
right.
or whatever.
Exactly.
It's hard to get yelled at as an offensive lineman if you're zone blocking.
Right.
Hey, that's where you want to go, coach.
Just don't hold.
Yeah, well.
Turbot in that little short motion. He's going to take the pitch again, go right back up the middle. But number 9, Markel Clark with the stop, and we have whistles on the play.
Yeah, Markel Clark, he's a junior for Woodbridge. That's the first time we're calling his name.
I think we're going to have a face mask here.
I mean, if you add that onto the play for the Colonels.
First down.
That's first down.
Face mask against the Raiders.
So first down. Oh, no, not enough. I guess I didn't know high school had the 5-yard option. I guess they do.
They're calling it 1st and 10 on the scoreboard, though.
It's
1st and 4.
Oh, it was a first down play. That's
yeah.
One. And it's going to be a fake inside handoff, then a reverse to number 12, Dylan Cecil. But neither one of them had the ball.
And I have to say,
that's going to be number 44 on the carry, Colin Brewer. And I tell you, Hammond's doing a good job of carrying out his fakes.
He's faking us out, I'd say, which isn't the hardest thing to do, but he's faking out some people. And that's 44, Colin Brewer. He's a junior for Colonel Richardson. That's his first carry of the night, and they're getting him into the mix.
1st and 10 for the Colonels in the red zone at the Woodbridge 15-yard line. Slowly walking their huddle up to the line of scrimmage. And Hammond's going to roll out to the left, and he's under some pressure and incomplete pass.
That's number 15, Cameron Johnson.
He's had a couple big tackles tonight, and he was right on Hammond.
Yeah, and that's one of those plays where you hold your breath when you're the offensive coach. That ball goes straight up in the air like that.
Well, in this offense, they don't leave a back to pick up that blitz, that block.
Yeah, it looks like they're definitely taking advantage of that. But you could see where this offense could just kind of grind you to death.
Yeah.
You know, just 1,000 paper cuts.
Right.
A couple of long ones ripped off, but you could see where they just kind of get to you. 2nd and 10 from the 15.
So 2nd and 10 from the 15 for the Colonels. And that's going to be a little bit of a double reverse there. And Mitchell's going to be taken down, gain of about 2 on the play, bring up 3rd down.
And that's the first time they kind of rolled Hammond out as a blocker, looking for an extra blocker out on that edge.
So far, Woodbridge they've not been burnt by the end run, and they've not been faked out by the fake end run. That time able the little double reverse, and
they've been faked out less than us. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, they've gotten us pretty good. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 9.
Big play here, 3rd and 9. I mean, this is obviously 4-down territory for them. They haven't really shown that they're going to kick it, so they might have 2 plays called here.
Mitchell goes in motion, and it's going to be a straight drop back by Hammond. Throws over the middle, picked off by number 2, Banks. And he's got some running room. He's got one guy to beat. Scott, this is going to be a 98-yard touchdown return on the interception. Jakar Banks takes it to the house.
Yeah, and Hammond just slightly overthrew, and Jakar Banks made him pay for it. And he looks to me like he can break off some long ones, and he showed it there. And Hammond really just slightly overthrown just enough and Banks was in the right spot, and that hurts. That one definitely hurts. They needed that drive.
Another thing about this offense, there was nobody on that left sideline to stop him once he got the pick. So Banks gets in the scoring column. The junior goes 98 yards on an interception return. And Johnson's going to go back at the Wildcat for the extra point.
Yeah, and you got to think you're going to see Johnson again here, kind of in the up back position.
And there he goes, left side. Somebody looks like they got their hands on him. I don't think he got in. They're going to say no, he didn't. So we're going to take a commercial timeout. Your score, the Woodbridge Blue Raiders 22, Colonel Richardson 6 with 1:10 to play here in the first quarter.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We loved it.
And we're back at Greenwood. Scott, no electricity for the lights in the booth, but plenty of electricity on the field from Banks.
Man, this game has it all so far. And a lot of it's going Woodbridge way, but Colonel Richardson's right there in them. They were a couple mistakes away.
Do I dare even say kick return?
Yeah, and then, they had a beautiful kick return. Their freshman stepped out of bounds right at the wrong time. They had one inopportune interception, but, they're definitely a high-powered offense, and they could definitely put it together. So I'm not counting them out yet.
Number 50, Cotton Collins on the kick, and he boots one down the right sideline. That's going to go out of bounds. And remember last week, big play in that game at Sussex Central, John Wells had him re-kick the ball and then went back and returned it 75 yards for a touchdown on the re-kick.
Yeah. So, Colonels need good field position. If they're going to shorten this game, they need good field position, and they need to hold on to the ball and not make the mistakes that they're making. But
Coach Jackson's going to do the same thing. I talked to Coach Wells after the game about that, having them kick it again. He says, look, when you have speed, you got to utilize it. It was the perfect time to have them re-kick. We knew we had the guys back there to return it.
Yeah, and the Colonels have Jazir Dickerson, who almost broke one off, and they also have Carter Turbot back there. So, and then on the near side, they have Derek Mitchell.
Right.
So, that's 3 guys who could break it off right here. So, and now they're going to have definitely have some room to operate.
Right. 1:10 to play here in the first quarter. Woodbridge ahead 22-6.
And they have a different kicker now.
Cotton Collins.
Cotton Collins. He kicked last year for him.
Yes, he did. The best name in downstate football right now.
Absolutely.
He's doing a high pooch kick. Mitchell's going to take it at his own 26, looking to get back into the wedge. He's got some running room. Hit, spins, but he's going to be dragged down from behind by number 15, Cameron Johnson.
The ref thought about throwing that flag for that late hit out of bounds, but the momentum kind of took him out.
Yeah, I thought he had his hands on him inside. So
yeah, the ref had that look. He was looking hard, man. He was looking hard at it. I think they're talking about it too right now. But here we go. So the Colonels' big series, minute left in the first quarter. Is that right?
Yeah.
Holy cow! Holy cow! This has been an exciting game.
First and 10 for the Colonels.
More exciting if you're a Raider fan than
right at the Blue Raider, or excuse me, the Colonels' own 48-yard line. These guys act like they're walking to the water cooler. Don't they? Just take their time.
I could play on this offense. I'd be more than happy.
That's going to be up the middle with number 44, Colin Brewer, and just a push from the offensive line. He's going to pick up about 5 on the play. Now, the one Hammond is only playing one way, so he's running back and forth to the sideline to get the play. We have a whistle as we have a player down.
Yeah, it looks like they're rotating a couple players on offense, too. Dickerson just came back in.
We're going to go ahead and take a commercial timeout while we have a player down. We'll be right back here on 302 Sports.
Oh, hey. I didn't see you there.
Cut. Dude, what was that?
Was that too much? Here at Grandpa Mac, we have something for everyone. Signature pasta dishes, or you can custom create them to order. We serve soups, salads, sandwiches, craft beer, and wine. Grandpa Mac's been serving comfort food here in southern Delaware for the last 3 years, making over 100 pounds of fresh pasta daily. We have a family-friendly environment and are open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. And remember, come follow the noodle to Grandpa Mac.
And welcome back. And that was Cameron Johnson. Gets up and gets off the field under his own power. 40 seconds to go here.
2nd and 5 on the 47.
Woodbridge Scott putting 9 in the box. Toss to Turbot. He turns it up and gonna get back to the line of scrimmage.
Woodbridge doing a good job of stretching that out and letting the linebackers fill. That's when you got 9 in the box.
Right.
That's what you do.
Right.
You know, you're not really looking for too much penetration. You're looking just to spread it out.
Well, with the 2 interceptions, Marvin always going 9 in the box. They go ahead and throw it. You know, I've got 2 picks already.
Yeah, one was a route mistake and one was an overthrow. So, I mean, I don't see him stopping throwing though. I mean,
right. Well, that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Your score at the end of 1. The Woodbridge Blue Raiders 22, Colonel Richardson 6.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
And welcome back to Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports. Scott, this is the 3rd trip for the Colonels into Woodbridge territory, only able to score once, one interception that was returned for a touchdown. So Colonel Richardson needs to take advantage right here, down by 2 scores early in the second. They might have to put one in now.
Yeah, and the problem is that Woodbridge is scoring a lot of different ways,
right.
You know, and they're looking electric and they're breaking off big plays. But on top of that, you got Tracy Johnson that's just eating up so much yardage on the ground. So I think the Colonel's best opportunity is to control the ball like we talked about, limit their mistakes, and really they need a nice long drive here to wear them down. Woodbridge is starting to look a little bit tired because of the heat and kind of what's going on. So I think this is going to be their best opportunity. It's 3rd and 5, so this is a huge conversion here.
3rd and 5 from the Woodbridge 48. Hammond under center. And it's going to be an inside little counter to number 2, Turbot. But he's taken down by number 7, Samuel Schroeder, and he's going to be short of the first down. It's going to bring up a 4th and call it 2.
Yeah, I thought maybe he could fall forward and get the first down, but they called him down on contact, I guess.
He was wrapped up by Schroeder.
Yeah, Schroeder made a nice tackle. Schroeder's been in on a bunch of tackles so far tonight for the Woodbridge Blue Raiders.
Make some noise, Raider fans.
So the Blue Raider fans on their feet when they get a stop here on 4th down. And it's going to be up the middle.
Yeah, it's number 44.
And he's going to be close to a first down.
I think he got it.
A little bit of a push there at the end.
Yeah, I think that extra little push
And
got
it's going to
it.
be a first down for the Colonel Richardson Colonels.
Yeah, and that's number 44, Colin Brewer on the run. He's done a little bit of the dirty work inside here tonight for the Colonels.
Picks up 2 for the first down. Clock starts to wind, and 1st and 10 at the Woodbridge 41.
I mean, this is one way to keep the Woodbridge explosive offense
It's off the
field. Yeah, 4-down territory.
Like one of these old Tubby Raymond, 7-minute drives. So 1st and 10 for the Colonels. Hammond goes under center. Mitchell goes in the short motion. He's going to catch off the short little pitch, and he's going to be hit for a gain of about 1. Bring up 2nd and 9.
Yeah, and that's number 5, Quincy Risper, again in on the tackle. With a little bit of help.
On the play brings up 2nd down and 9 for the Colonels.
You know what really kind of is interesting to me is how low Hammond gets behind center.
Yeah, well, everybody's tucked in. You can't see him coming.
Yeah, I mean, he's really low. He hides that ball very, very successfully.
Hammond brings the play in from the sidelines. Approaching 10 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Finally, the breeze is picking up, Scott. It's not so hot here in the press box.
We need a little ocean breeze out here.
Right. We're a long way from it.
That's right.
And we're going to get a Colonel Richardson timeout. And we're going to take one with them, folks. Your score, Woodbridge 22, Colonel Richardson 6.
Prevent unwanted house guests from invading your home. With cold weather coming, overwintering pests are headed inside. If you're not proactive, you could be left with a pest problem.
Expertise is needed to inspect, identify a problem, and offer environmentally sound solutions like active pest solutions.
Prevention is the key to stopping cluster flies, stink bugs, crickets, and mice from entering your home. Protect your home with a proactive pest plan. Contact Active Pest Solutions, your local pest expert.
For more information, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
Prevent unwanted. And welcome back. 10 minutes to go here in the first half. And Scott, as you said during the timeout,
All right, Raider fans.
Colonel Richardson just has a really cool and calm approach.
I love it. They're very relaxed. They do not seem stressed.
Don't forget to take a visit to our concession stand.
So they're coming off their timeout.
2nd and 9 on the 40.
Something Coach Jackson saw there he didn't like before they ran that play.
Plenty of food and drink choices.
Colonel Richardson, two-time defending 2A Bayside South champions. They went, I think, 2 rounds into the playoffs last year.
And I see how they can take over a game. I've only seen the one game on film, but I could see how they can take over a game.
Hammond rolling to his left.
He got rid of that just in time.
Yes, he did. And there's going to be a flag on the play for grounding probably, I would think. Number 8.
There's a flag on the play.
Although he's getting up not happy.
Yeah, it could be a late hit.
I don't know how. He was draped all over him.
I mean, there was no one out there when he threw that.
Yeah, this has to be a intentional grounding. No, they're going to call it off. Nothing. So it's going to be loss of down, though, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9.
I like it when they do that. They get together, they figure it out. Hey,
Right.
we no penalty. Let's play on.
That was number 9, Markel Clark, and like I said, he was on him like a drape.
Flag is waved off.
I think that they ended up seeing that Turbot was out there on the flat.
Right. And it's hard to throw with a big man like that hanging on.
Yeah. But he did get the ball out of his hand, so.
And it's going to be a counter with Mitchell. He is hit right away. 15, Johnson, and who else is coming off that pile?
Cameron Johnson, a junior, number 15.
I think number 10 was on that tackle, Logan Moran.
He got off that block in a hurry, Benny. Johnson did.
That's going to be a loss of 1 on the play, bring up 4th down, and it looks like Colonel Richardson is going to bring the punter on, number 32, Morgan Demur.
Well, this is the first time we've seen him punt today, so we'll see.
Oh, no, was that a 4th down?
It's 4th now.
Oh, it's 4th down. Yeah, look like Woodbridge is setting up for a defense. I think going to be about a 9-yard snap, Scott.
Yeah, and they have number 2 back, Jakar
Banks,
who
who's already
just
went 98 yards once today.
And he also ripped off another decent one, so this could be a problem.
Rugby-style kick, and he gets a good foot into it. He's going to take it, drops it at the 5, and he's going to get wrapped up right away by number 11, Jazir Dickerson, and it's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 2-yard line.
And Jazir Dickerson did an excellent job because a lot of times you see the young guys come down there, the ball gets bobbled a little bit, they freeze, and then they break off a long run back. He did a great job, very disciplined, got down there, made the tackle, and put his team in a really good position to get a good stop. Now the question is, can you stop Tracy Johnson and the juggernaut that's been the Woodbridge offense tonight?
So Woodbridge 1st and 10 from their own 2, 8:50 to play.
I mean, you'd like to keep it within a couple scores here going into half, and there's 8:50 left. The last thing you want is a nice long drive here from Woodbridge.
See if they go under center here. They do not. They're going to stay in the pistol. Slot to the right.
I mean, Deuce.
Split to the left.
Dance with who brought you, huh? I mean.
Risper goes in motion. There's going to be a flag on the play. Probably going to be an illegal procedure.
Yeah.
He turned up a little soon. Illegal shift on Woodbridge. So that's going to be a
Half
penalty for a yard.
Hey, if you're going to get it, might as well get that one.
That always messes up the penalty stats.
That's right.
That 1 yard or 2 or 3.
There's a flag on the play.
So it's going to bring up a 1st and 11 for Woodbridge. So they'll be playing out of the shadow of their own end zone.
Illegal motion on the play. We'll back them up about a yard, bringing up a.
So we'll see what Coach Dooley dials up here to get them out from the perilous position they're in.
Oh,
looks like
another procedure.
And that's Johnson. He's on the direct snap.
It left end came across too. So it's going to be 1st and 11 and a half.
And the Colonel said, we can do this all day.
That's right.
Let's keep it going. Looks like 9 called the same play. He's calling a defensive play. He said, let's roll it.
Right.
Same play, man.
That's Johnson off the right side, pushing the pile. He's going to be close to 1st down. I think he's got it.
Wow, and that is a group tackle. And that's just a hustle, hard play from Johnson.
And what is he, Scott, about 5'6"?
I don't know, man, but he is a powerful guy.
1st down for Johnson. That's going to bring up 1st and 10 to get the ball out of the shadow of their end zone. They're out about the 15-yard line.
I'm going to say he squats 3 times his weight. He
is
pushed that pile.
He did.
I mean, that was pretty impressive.
We'll be back here a couple times this year. We're going to have the Laurel Woodbridge game, and then again we're going to have the Milford Woodbridge game later in the season. Jed Bell coming home.
2 great games.
And it's going to be a toss to Johnson. Bounces off his own blocker. Mitchell stands him up. And all that. He's going to get about a yard on the play.
It looks like 73. Chris Rockwell, a junior
Finished
from
it off.
Colonel's, finished it off. And second and
9.
Colonel's doing a good job not letting Johnson take over this.
They're setting the edge and stopping that sweep, but where Woodbridge has been gaining their yards is between the tackles. Off of a little toss, but they're cutting it back in. Johnson getting the air while he can. Pistol formation, split to both sides. It's going to be Johnson, cuts back up the middle, and he's going to be tackled after a short gain.
A little extracurricular activity.
Couldn't see who made the
Number
tackle.
9 on the tackle.
Yeah.
That's Bradley Thomas, sophomore.
Pick up about 3 on the play. 3rd and 6 for the Blue Raiders.
It must have been a little bit of a fumble. Referees let them fight it out a little bit before they called it off. Yeah. Yeah, that was number 9 on the tackle. 3 down linemen. Looks like they're walking up 73 on the outside.
Slot to the near side. First pass from Woodbridge tonight. He timed it just right to number 2 Turbot. Just as number 2 Banks was going up.
Great play by
Yeah,
Turbot.
got there just in time. So that's going to bring up a 4th and long, and Woodbridge sends out the punt team with 6:19 to play here in this first half.
Great defensive stand by the Colonels. Really what they needed to get back into this game. The last thing they needed was a long drive by Woodbridge, and great stand by the Colonels.
Coming up at halftime, the SoDel Concept halftime show, we'll have the Surf Bagel stats, halftime stats, and we're going to get a Woodbridge. Who's taking the timeout here?
Looks like
Woodbridge going to take a timeout. We're going to stay right here with the action, Scott. We'll have the Surf Bagel halftime stats coming up. Surf Bagel, you have to tell me there's 4 locations, right? 5 locations now?
4 locations, and then we're building a 5th in Fenwick and then a 6th in Bethany. So 6 will be enough.
Right.
For the people to be able to get their bagels in a timely
That's
fashion.
right. We were talking. Remember, I mean, you were talking on the phone today about the 2 and 1 in 5 Points and 1 in Midway, and the amount of business. It's so close to each other, but there's so much volume. People just, I know that I complain a lot about the traffic, but unless you come down here, you just don't know.
There's a lot of people on the highway in Rehoboth. I
Right.
can tell you that. We could put another one, in Rehoboth.
Right.
Because it's Lewis, Midway, and then. But yeah, it's crazy.
There's 14 traffic lights from 5 Points to to the Dewey Bridge.
That's it. And I live in Dewey, so I'm kind of out of it a little bit.
And I live on the northern end of it.
Yeah, so I it's easier for me to go by boat than it is by.
I hear everybody's buying scooters now. I'm not in. I just don't trust everybody else.
I don't trust myself on a scooter.
On the punt is Jakir Banks. Back deep is, I think that's number 11, Jazeer Dickerson. He's going to be punting from his own 4-yard line. He gets it off. It's a high floating punt, and it's going to take a Colonel Richardson bounce and down by number 9, Markel Clark. 1st and 10 for the Colonels in plus territory.
And the Colonels saw that bounce. I said, you know what? We're just
gonna
we're going to let it go. I'm not going to make any sudden movements of trying to get the ball.
That
and
ball
fumble it.
was so high with hang time, the punter could have covered.
Yeah, you just got to let that go. And like we said, Dickerson had a really nice run back, the one where he stepped out of bounds. He's only a freshman, and he knew enough to be like, I'm not making a play on that ball. I'm gonna
6:11 to play here in the first half. Woodbridge with a 22-6 lead. Here come the Colonels. Up under center is Hammond. We got a new fullback in. That's number 22, Clothier Gabriel, and it's going to be to Turbot, and he's able to get out inside the 40. Tackle bay by 10, Logan Moran, and number 7, Samuel Schroeder.
Yeah, and Samuel Schroeder, the senior, he was there on a coin toss in the beginning of the game, and he's been leading his team in tackles. I think he's the 3rd leading tackler tonight on the field, and he's showing some senior leadership.
Give Turbot a gain of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 for the Colonel Richardson Colonels.
And Turbot's just got that look like he's going to break one. He's just really patient. He's really waiting. He's behind the line, but him or Mitchell are going to break one sooner rather than later.
And that's up the middle with 22, Gabriel. He's going to push the pile. And then the Blue Raiders are going to push it back. He's going to be short of the first down. He's going to pick up a gain of about 3 on the play.
So that's going to make it 3rd and 4, we're going to call it.
Colonel Richardson, for folks not familiar, they're in Federalsburg, which is not far. It's about 7 miles from the state line. Like we said in the pregame, there's several kids on these two teams that are related to each other, including Coach Jackson said he got some kin on the Woodbridge side. 3rd and 3 for the Colonel Richardson. Colonel's ball at the Woodbridge 41. And Mitchell tries to go around the left end, and who finished that up?
That's
number 6. It's going to be
number
5, Quincy Risper.
Quincy Risper again on the tackle.
Couldn't see who had him wrapped up, but Quincy Risper made sure he didn't break free. Gain of 1 on the play 4th and 2. And here comes the big man, number 44, Colin Brewer. He got the first down on the 4th and 2 last time.
And as patient as the Colonels are, I think Woodbridge is even more patient on defense. They're just filling the gaps and letting Quincy Risper and Schroeder scrape across and make the play at the point of contact.
The ends are either turning it in or wrapping them up.
Yeah.
4th and 2 for Colonel.
Man, that 44 is tight in there. I can't believe how tight that split is.
He's going to have the first down.
I mean, he had to be a foot behind the quarterback on that play.
33, Tyler Ely had two hands full of jersey trying to pull him back.
Those are the rip-away jerseys.
Back to number 33, Tyler Ely.
I got to say, both teams do not look that tired to me. I thought they were going to look a lot more tired. You're seeing a little bit of hands on hips.
I'm interested to see what happens the third quarter. Let's see with this heat and this humidity. Let's see who hydrated so far this first part of the season.
3:51 left in the second quarter before half. They're on the 33.
1st and 10 at the Woodbridge 33-yard line. And it's going to be a pitch to number 12, Peden. And nowhere for him to go.
And that is a quick, straight back pitch. I mean, there's not much to it. And that play relies on that blocking up front. There's not really much a running back can do there.
2nd and 10 for Colonel Richardson.
I'd like to see some play action stuff here.
They've showed some with the fake.
One down under 3 minutes.
I almost think like a play action waggle, would be something that, just because Woodbridge is so set up now to stop these runs.
9 in the box. They're daring them to throw it.
I mean, they really are.
It's going to be Mitchell on the counter and getting no gain on the play. 3rd and 10.
I mean, you got to think at some point they have thrown 2 interceptions.
Well, yeah, they need to throw a shorter pattern, maybe something like you said, a waggle, something, a drag across the middle, or maybe an out or a flag pattern. But over the middle, those two safeties they're on lockdown, baby. You don't throw by them.
I mean, they got 9 in the box and 2 backs.
The 2 safeties each have an interception tonight.
Yeah.
3rd and 10 for Colonel Richardson.
I'd like to see something maybe in front of them a little bit. You know what I mean? Drag them across, like we're saying.
And he is going to roll out. He's under some pressure. Lets it rip.
Oh.
And it's going to be deflected. Incomplete.
I mean, 23, Mitchell was wide open. And
well, he had 2
almost
guys.
Got it on the.
Hammond had 2 guys hanging on that time.
Yeah, but he got rid of it. I mean, he's a big, strong quarterback. I mean, he got rid of it. 23, Mitchell deflected it and almost into 20's hands. But, I mean, that's the play we call for. So
that's right.
I mean, that's what I was thinking was going to happen.
4th and 10 for the Colonels.
What do you do here? Oh, we got a little bit of heat lightning.
That's not good. That keeps us here later.
That's not good.
Drop straight back. That's a little screen. So that's the Turbot. Turbot's got some running room. Oh, steps right to the left. Touchdown, Colonel Richardson. No flags on the play.
I mean, you got to think the Colonels were setting them up for that one. We were talking about it. I mean, it was starting to become kind of obvious that, something like that was going to work. And
talk about the Euro step, boy.
Yeah, and Coach Jackson dialed up a play, a nice screenplay that worked. And they were in the backfield. Woodbridge was in the backfield. But on the screen, that almost works against you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we've been saying it all game that we really thought Carter Turbot was going to break loose on something. It was just a matter of time. So, I mean, that's a huge score. That puts it within 10. And
he gave us a chance to do the old Chris Berman whoop.
Yeah, I mean, that was a heck of a play.
And it's going to be trying to go up the middle. They're going to be short. No good.
No good.
So we're going to take a commercial timeout with minute 57 to play in the half. Is Woodbridge 22, Colonel Richardson 12.
Here at Grandpa Mac, we've been serving the Eastern Shore since 2015. We're all about bringing you fresh, quality ingredients. We do fresh pasta, paninis, soups, and salads. We try to be all-inclusive, vegan, gluten-free options. We do a little bit of something for everybody. In the summertime, we make a little over 200 pounds of pasta a day. You can come in and buy fresh pasta. You can bring it home. We're doing curbside pickup right now. A lot of take-to-go. We even have DoorDash if you need it delivered to you. We like to bring you good food fast and not fast food.
And welcome back to Greenwood, home of the Woodbridge Blue Raiders. 22-12 is your score with 1:57 to go here in the first half. Coming up in the half, we'll have the Surf Bagel halftime stats.
I mean, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Colonels.
Yeah,
I mean,
great call by Coach Jackson.
I mean, that was the perfect call at the perfect time to the perfect player. Really, I mean, that had everything going for it.
Coach Jackson, Coach Jolie, two big men. Maybe we can get a halftime wrestling match right on the W.
Well, we're gonna have to get a referee that can handle that.
Jackson's a basketball player.
Oh,
so
is he? Yeah. I know Dooley can wrestle.
Yeah, two-time state champ. Dooley can do a little bit. He's still playing softball, Scott.
He was a good baseball player.
Yeah, he was a pitcher with the Pittsburgh Private Organization. All-state pitcher. Was all-state in 3 sports his senior year. 1 year earned wrestling, got a state title, 1 of 2. Back when William Penn was a powerhouse. So Colonel Richardson going to kick. Colonel Richardson wearing the William Penn colors, except William Penn is not red and black. It's cherry and black.
Nice kick.
And he's going to kick it deep inside the 5. Going to take it about the 3-yard line. And got some running room up the middle. And we stopped at about the 30-yard line. That was number 6 on the return, Malachi Hayes.
And he looked dangerous for a second there, the sophomore for Woodbridge, Malachi Hayes. He looked like he was prepared to break it at any moment.
1st and 10 for Woodbridge. 1:50 to go. I would think they would play it safe here, Scott. Maybe try to get a long run, at least go in the half up 10.
I mean, 1:50 left. I don't know. You give it to Johnson 3 times to see what happens?
Just give it to Johnson. You got your timeouts. See what happens. I wouldn't throw it for the risk of interception.
And we'll be getting the stats after half to see.
Dave Marvel on the stats tonight, as he is every night. And it's going to be a handoff to number 33, Tyler Ely, and he's not going down. He's got some running room. Just has to get away from number 11, Dickerson, and he's going to go out of bounds. But a big gain for the Woodbridge Blue Raiders.
Yeah, and 33, Tyler Ely, he's a sophomore from Woodbridge, and with a touchdown saving tackle, number 11, Jazeer Dickerson, he's a freshman, and he was the only one that could catch him there on that play.
Dickerson went left some more, went back, cut to the right, and picks up a big gain of maybe 40 yards?
I'm going to say that was a good 40 yards. So that's 1st and 10 on the 21, yeah.
So 1st down for the Blue Raiders, ball at the 29 of Colonel Richardson.
Yeah, and Coach Dooley's starting to get some other guys involved, and that was kind of a late developing play and almost didn't get the handoff. Almost flubbed the handoff.
It's going to be a pitch out to number 8, Johnson, and he's going to pick up a short gain.
Johnson just runs into the back of his blocker sometimes and says, "Let's just start moving this pile."
And we have a stoppage. I haven't seen a timeout signal. Timeout Woodbridge. We'll just stay right here, Scott. They have 2 timeouts left.
It's been a lot of big plays here tonight,
I don't know if
Benny.
you noticed at the beginning of the play, but number 33, Ely, exercised some demons right before that play as he was throwing up in the backfield. And
that just means he's taking it seriously.
Yes, and then went through a couple blocks.
I mean, that was a great run he had. You talking about before his run?
Right before the play. No, right before that last play.
Oh,
where he
before
blocked,
that last play. Okay. Well, that is also a sign that it is hot out there.
Yes, it is. And that he probably may have landed on the ball when he got taken out of bounds. But he said, just let me get rid of this and
let me just
play
keep playing
some football.
Well, the ball did come loose after the run.
So gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 for the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, with 1:20, what they have 3 plays.
Right. Risper checks in.
How many
they still got 2 timeouts.
2 timeouts. So they maybe got 4 or 5 plays.
And Dropping back, throwing in a double coverage, incomplete. He got away with one there.
He did. He got some air under it, but the Colonels had an opportunity for pick it off in the end zone. They just couldn't convert on that one.
Plummer threw in the tight double coverage, looking for number 2, Banks. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 7.
We haven't seen many throws.
Not from Woodbridge.
Not from Woodbridge. They've been straight gas, no break on the run.
Let's see, we dial up here, maybe a little bit of a counter. I should probably keep it on the ground here. You got the 2 timeouts. You got the out of bounds. Still got 2 downs here to get the first. And you're up 10. Risper in at the up back. And it's going to be Risper on the delayed handoff. 1 man to beat. He's inside the 5, the goal line. Touchdown, Quincy Risper. Scott, he runs hard.
Yeah, Quincy Risper, for me, is really having a breakout game here today. He's really had a great game on defense, and he's delivering on offense, too.
The defender had the angle on him, and Risper said, just come on in with me, son.
I mean,
I'm going to the house.
He almost outran the angle and carried the guy. I mean, I don't know what you do about that. I mean, that's hard to stop. That's going to set the tone for the second half right there.
I believe Colonel Richardson will get the ball at the half. We have flags on the play, and it's going to be a procedure on Woodbridge. Minute 6 here to play, looking for the 2-point conversion. And now they're going to check Plummer back in and run a regular offensive play. I would look for a pass here. This is what they did at the end of the Seaford game. Short yardage. Something in the flats.
I mean, Woodbridge has really surprised me. I mean, I wasn't sure what to expect. We did a few of their games last year, and they had a very disappointing season.
2-8 last year, coming off a state final appearance.
Yeah, and this is almost the season and the offense that you would have expected to come, after their state championship appearance. This really looks like a continuation of that team. I mean, they have some offensive weapons.
Shotgun formation with Risper and Johnson to either side. Johnson goes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Risper, and he just blows it up the middle for the extra point. Have a game, Quincy Risper.
He is having a game on both sides of the ball.
We're going to stay right here with the action, Scott. Minute 6 to go as we're coming up on our halftime. We'll have this week's top 10 plays brought to you by Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Woodbridge fans getting into it now.
Yes, they are.
They appreciate the effort they're seeing from their Blue Raiders tonight.
Got a big win over Seaford last week. Seaford, a 3A team. Seaford was looking to be one of the top teams and got hit hard by some transfers. And but they, look, this team is, I don't care who you play when you put 57 points on somebody. And this team's, Woodbridge starting to handle them. And Seaford was right in there. I know you can't talk about, scores and all, but there's some indication that Seaford's not going to be a bad class at 118.
And what I'm seeing from Woodbridge is really the discipline and the ability to spread the ball around.
Yeah, just 4 penalties in this game, and 2 of them were pre-snap.
Yeah, and you're starting to really see some consistency, some good blocking up front. They have multiple guys that can break long plays. They're going to be a tough out. They're going to definitely be a tough out this season.
AA District 3, the old Henny South, is going to be fun to watch this year. And we'll see we have Lake Forest Laurel down the road on the schedule.
What's that game called? For the bell?
No, that's Milford Lake.
That's Milford Lake
Glenn Fredger will have that game at week 10. So, yeah, we'll have that on Delaware Live. Kicking it away, Cotton Collins.
He's our talk about top 10 plays. He's one of our top 10
names. Absolutely.
Yeah. He can kick, too.
Kicks the knuckleball right down the middle. It's going to be taken about the 11-yard line. And it has some room. I think that's number 25, Aiden Downey.
And the Colonels have had good field position. They really haven't.
They've had 2 series they started plus yardage.
Yeah, they really haven't been pushed back too far. They have 2 touchdowns. They threw an interception on the steps of the end zone.
Right.
I mean, that was a 14-point swing. That's really the difference, in the game in a lot of ways right now.
First and 10 from the 35 for Colonel Richardson. Said they're not built for a two-play 65-yard drive. So let's see what they do here. See if they throw it away or just take it into half down 30-12. And they're going to go with that tight formation.
We expected nothing else.
He is going to throw. Drops back. Another. Oh, that's tipped and almost picked off by Cotton Collins.
Cotton Collins is doing double duty.
Number 76, Jacob Hanley, kind of sniffed that out and slowed his pursuit, and I think he's the one that got the hands on it. So they went right back to what scored the touchdown.
I like that, coming back to the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're over pursuing like that, that's what you go to. I mean, that's what the playbook says.
Second down and 10. Now they're going to go 3 deep. Are the Woodbridge Blue Raiders. Hand off up the middle, and just nowhere to go, just all blue.
45 seconds left.
Yeah, no gain on the play.
So barring any unforeseen changes.
That was a carry by number 12, King Peden.
They're going to go in down 30-12. And I think Coach Jackson's going to say he saw some good things. I mean, his team showed him some good things. Couple mistakes, couple interceptions, couple big plays. And he's going to say, hey, we need to clean.
Like you said, the one interception on the doorstep of the end zone, and then he takes it back 98 yards. I mean, for as good as Woodbridge has played, really, the Colonels, that you take away that interception, and they score on that, you're close. It's a very close game. So, he's got to try and motivate his guys a little bit from that standpoint and say, hey, we're here. We're fine. So Hammond, with no time left, I don't know if he faked the knee.
I think he did.
Everybody started to walk away.
They threw a penalty.
So, yeah, I think he faked the knee and then took off. So that play is going to go for nothing, or it's going to go for a 12-yard gain. And, folks, we're going to go to our halftime show. We'll start with our top 10 plays from this week on Delaware Live Sports while Dave Marvel adds up the stats.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer, president of Sodell Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Sodell Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Sodell Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out.
Couldn't be more excited about having our show here held at the Buffalo Wild Wings and Christiana location here on Route 7, brand new location. They moved here from Limestone Road, and it's going to be the new home of 302 Sports Week. I'm going to recap some local, college, and professional stuff. It's time for everybody's favorite part of the day, top 5 plays. Here we go. Stanley, your number 1 play from AI, 76-yard punt return. We got ourselves the quality cam here on the sideline. It's awesome to watch from this angle, to be honest with you. And watch, whoa, going up. He went to 4.12. He left the first there at 4.4. I mean, those ups right there. You can't make this stuff up.
Looking to stay cool this summer?
At Barclay Heating and Air, we're dedicated to keeping your home comfortable year-round.
Family owned and operated, we provide trusted residential heating and cooling services to customers across central Delaware. Our experienced technicians offer reliable maintenance and repairs on all major brand HVAC systems. From air conditioners and ductless systems to heat pumps and furnaces, we also sell and install top quality units. No matter your needs, we're committed to getting the job done right with honest and timely service you can count on. Invested in our community, we're proud to help families in more ways than one, sponsoring and donating to many local programs and organizations throughout the area for dependable HVAC services. Give us a shout or a bark at Barkley Heating and Air.
I'm Chef Hari Cameron. At Grandpa Mac, pasta's our thing. We serve quality food fast that's not fast food. We make everything in-house and serve something for everyone. We're open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Follow the noodle to Grandpa Mac.
You've probably seen this a lot, but not all pest solutions come from a can. At Active Pest Solutions, we don't spray and pray. Professionalism and continuing education sets us apart.
We are Quality Pro certified, the mark of excellence in pest management.
And we have an associate certified entomologist on staff,
providing environmentally sound solutions to our customers.
Our proactive pest plan offers the best pledge guarantee in the industry. We do what others don't.
Active Pest Solutions. Call or visit us online today. It's active without the E.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier?
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
And welcome back to Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports. I'm Benny Mitchell with Scott Cameron. Donald Flowers on the camera. Dave Marvel has totaled up the stats for us, Scott. And let's start with this Colonel Richardson Colonels. 123 yards of total offense, 72 on the ground, 51 in through the air, 8 first downs, but 2 turnovers, one of them a pick 6. For the Woodbridge Blue Raiders, their rushing is their total, 189 yards on the ground, no turnovers. They have no passing yards. We'll go to the individual gainers so far. Risper, 3 carries for 66 yards. Johnson, 8 carries for 88 yards. For Colonel Richardson, their leader is Brewer with 6 carries for 29. Turbot, 7 for 22, and Mitchell, 8 for 21. Turbot has a catch for 31 yards. Hammond, Plummer is 2 for 6 for 51, and Hammond 0 for 2 with 2 interceptions. We got that passing yard backwards, by the way. So, Scott, your thoughts so far of the
I mean, Woodbridge is doing everything they need to do, and they're doing it right. Their big players are making big plays at the right times. They haven't really shied away from this crosstown kind of rival. Federalsburg right down the road, a lot of guys they know, family, friends, everybody. I mean, they're playing good. They're not making mistakes. The Colonels, on the other hand, couple of plays they need to clean up. We talked about it. It's 30-12. It could be a very close game. That interception on the goal line, return, pick 6. I can see it. I can see the offense that they're running. I can see how it works. I really like that they made the adjustment on the screen, and they scored the touchdown on that. I like teams that make adjustments, that run their base offense but aren't afraid to go outside their comfort zone. I'd like to see some more big plays out of Hammond. I think he definitely has it in him. I was happy to see number 2 break a long play. We were waiting to see that out of him, and we definitely saw it. And I've been impressed by the freshman, Dickerson. I really think that he's a player, and he can make things happen here in the second half.
For Woodbridge, Quincy Risper and Tracy Johnson are just making things happen.
Yeah, and I mean, Risper, it's really hard to it's really hard to say without being here how much he's involved in the defense. I mean, he really is. He's involved in almost every play, and he's played great on offense. He's been the difference maker. We kind of knew what we were going to get out of Tracy Johnson coming into this because we've seen him before. But to me, Risper has been Quincy Risper has been a very pleasant surprise if I'm Woodbridge. 2
other guys from Woodbridge that are making an impact and maybe pest-like players tonight. 15 Cameron Johnson and 2 Jakir Banks.
Yeah, and I thought Banks, man, Banks has got legitimate breakaway speed. So's Risper, so's Johnson. So, I mean, with those kind of things going for him, the Raiders are making it look very, very difficult for the Colonels. So we'll see what Coach Jackson can dial up here. He has shown that he can make some adjustments and he can do some different things. He runs that double wedge, runs that earthquake. We've talked about it a lot, but he's not afraid to throw out of it, and he's not. I mean, he might be a little gun shy since having threw the 2 picks and 1 for a pick 6, but I think he's going to come back and probably do more of the same.
Do you think maybe he tries to get Hammond out on the edge and let him be an athlete?
I thought the same thing, too. I mean, it'd be nice to get some of these guys out in open space, get it to them in the flat, get it to them, on the screens. I like that. I really do. I like that for the Colonels, and hopefully we see more of that. And really, for Woodbridge, it's more of the same. They just got to keep doing what they were doing to pull away.
And also, they haven't shown the sweep yet. They've shown a fake sweep with a handoff off the middle or a drop back. Maybe, try to get their 2 wingbacks out on the edge as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something to be had there. I've been impressed, actually, by the special team play of both teams. The kickoffs have been good. The coverage has been good. The Colonels have had excellent field position all game. They just really haven't been able to capitalize on all of it. So they're a big play or 2 away, and we'll see. Woodbridge did look tired, rightfully so. I just walked to the concession stand and back, and I'm tired. So rightfully so that, they got a few guys going both ways, and they do look a little tired. So we'll see if either team fatigue becomes a factor later we go into the night.
Well, this is cramp quarter coming up here in the third quarter. That's when we start to find out who hydrated, who is in shape, and we'll see how it all pans out here in the third quarter. So here we're getting ready to kick off. Woodbridge will be kicking the ball away to the Colonels. Again, for those that weren't here for the pregame show, these two mirror communities, Woodbridge here in Delaware, farming community, Bridgeville, Farmington, Greenwood, and then Federalsburg over on the Maryland side. Both schools maybe 7-8 miles from the state line. They're about 15 to 16 miles apart, depending on which road you decide to take. But yeah, they could have been doing this for a long time. These are two long-time communities, as we said. A lot of families on both sides.
Yeah, really, unless the Colonels start scoring some here, they might not want to play after this.
Right, I'm sorry, we got back to the Colonel. That's right, they took the kickoff to start the game. So Colonel Rich should be kicking off to Woodbridge. Scott, they cannot let up a touchdown here. A touchdown here pretty much ends this game, I think.
That's how I felt about it, too. I feel like, they need a stop. I mean, this is – you do not want it to go 3 scores.
Right. Especially when you run a clock-eating ground-gaining offense.
That's a problem. I mean, you're going to start to see a lot of commercials if it goes it goes to that case. I do like that they have some wrinkles. They have a little fake kick there. Of course, no one on Woodbridge responded, but they do have some wrinkles and they do have some things they like to throw at you.
So here we go, third quarter, second half, about to get underway. As number 32, Morgan Demir kicks it away, and it's going to go inside. Boy, he's got a leg on him. Number 7, Samuel Schroeder, coming down the right side. He's got one man to beat, and that's the kicker. Can he get by him? He does. 98-yard kick return by Mr. Banks. Wow. Almost 200 yards and all-purpose yards today, Scott, for Banks.
Man, Jakar Banks, he looked like lightning streaking down that sideline. He has big play written all over him.
Yes, he does. A junior for the Blue Raiders.
He's shown us something here tonight.
Woodbridge will go for 2 here in their earthquake-type formation.
And you got to think they're giving it to Johnson. There's direct
there
snap.
There it is, right side, puts his head down. Scott, he can run by you and run over you.
That's tough. I mean, that's when a one-on-one block, one-on-one tackler is just having lots of problems with him. And we talked about it. That is not the way Colonels wanted to start this second half.
We're going to take a quick commercial timeout. We'll be right back. Your score, Woodbridge 38, Colonel Richardson 12.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the Raw Bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon.
And welcome back to Woodbridge here in Greenwood, Delaware. 15 seconds into the second half, and Woodbridge is out front 38-12.
That one hurt, Benny. Jakar Banks just with a big-time play.
Twice today. First with the pick 6, 98 yards, and then a 98-yard kick return. That young man will be in the top plays.
He will.
On Wednesday. Just pick either one of them.
Hope he gets a good night's rest tonight because he's had quite a few yards on big plays.
He'll probably get like administrative parking tomorrow at school. I think he can park right up front.
He almost broke another one off too, didn't he?
Yes.
I feel like that's the third time we've seen that out of him tonight.
Cotton Collins to kick it away. 11:45 to play here.
Cotton Collins also not afraid to get down there and make a tackle.
No.
You know, I thought the kicker had an angle, but
Banks turned it on.
Yeah, he just outran the angle.
And kicks it. It's going to go out of bounds. And let's see if Coach Jackson elects to re-kick. He did the first time it happened. So Woodbridge had to scratch out 26 points last week against Seaford, and tonight here we are early in the third quarter, and they've got 38 on the board. And they are going to have Woodbridge re-kick.
Yeah, I think he's definitely trying to avoid. Like we said, they have 3 guys back there.
They can fly themselves.
They can fly themselves, and that's the last thing they want to do.
He wants to avoid the ensuing kickoff term.
Yeah, that's the last thing he wants is
It seems like ensuing kickoff in Arco was always followed by touchdown.
To me, that's the most exciting play in sports.
It is.
Back-to-back kickoff returns. Yeah. And these are 2 teams that could give it to you. I mean, they, without a doubt, can give it to you.
Folks, you're watching Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports. I'm Benny Mitchell. He's Scott Kammerer. Week 1, but our second production of the season. We'll be here all year with downstate football here in Sussex County. Got some Sussex Central coming up, some Cape and Lopin later in the season. Next week we'll have Caesar Rodney at Laurel. And there's a squib kick, and 44.
Colin Brewer.
Colin Brewer going to take it and just sit on it, and that's going to give him the field ball and plus territory again. So not a great starting position for Colonel Richardson.
And that is not even one of the hands teams expecting an onside kick.
No, I think they were looking for a squib there.
Yeah, but Colin Brewer's had a few he's had a few good runs up inside tonight, so he knows how to handle the ball. I think Coach Dooley did not want to return like we were talking about. I mean, they have Mitchell, Dickerson, and Turbot back there.
First and 10 for Colonel Richardson. Ball at the Woodbridge 47. Their first series of the third quarter. Turbot goes in motion. I think the fullback ran into the back of Ham, and he is stacked up. Number 5, Quincy Risper.
Yeah, and that was Turbot on the carry. It was a high pitch back to him, and he almost mishandled it, which would have been complete disaster.
Well, his fullback looked like he ran into him, so there may have been some confusion on where they were supposed to go. Gain of about half a yard. It's going to bring up second and long. Scott, got to give shout out to our cameraman, Donald Flowers, on his first night on the job, solo up there doing the game film, doing an outstanding job.
He's almost doing too good of a job. Right. That means, guess what? Next week he's back.
That's right.
He's doing an excellent job.
Get him part-time on the fan cam.
That's it.
Only able to bring one camera a night. Hammond drops straight back, looking to his right, rolls out, cuts back. He's got some running room in the middle. He's going to pick up about 3 on the play, so maybe something like we talked about, getting Hammond out there, just let him be an athlete.
Yeah, that's number 10, Logan Morin on the play. I wouldn't mind some quarterback draw type action.
Right.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. Give him like a 5-step drop, plant that back foot, and look for an opening. I mean, they're over pursuing.
Right. 3rd and 7 for the Colonels. Nice crowd on hand here on the Woodbridge side, sparsely over on Colonel Richardson. But I think they have more people hanging on the fence than sitting in the bleachers. That is downstate football.
Yeah, if you're hanging on the fence, you're there.
You're the cool guys.
You want to talk it up. Oh, fumble.
Inside hand up by Mitchell. He fumbles, able to gather his own fumble.
He picked it up. And he picked up. He might have.
He's going to be just short of a first down. Picks up about 6 on the play. Going to be 3rd and a long 2.
Usually when you fumble it and get it back yourself, that means everything's going good for you.
That's right. The football gods are with you.
Yeah, someone's with you, yeah.
Make some noise, Raider fans.
But again, I think it was a little bit shaky of a handoff.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of thrown in there. Yeah. Derek Mitchell, actually, full disclosure, a great nephew of mine.
Oh. Well, there you go. Family on both sides.
That's right. Woodbridge is saying it's loose, but.
Yeah, number 7 came up with it.
That's a big man right there.
He is, and we haven't seen him with the ball.
Chattydrick
Pickram. He's a sophomore.
He had a touchdown last week. Had a couple actually, I think he was one either with the kick return or the scoop and scores.
Short of the first down.
Yeah, I think he picked up the bad snap.
So turnover on downs, and Woodbridge takes the ball. 1st and 10. I would say maybe one more series with your starters and put the young guys in. We'll see what Coach Dooley does. He does have his starters still in the game.
Yeah, I think actually the Colonels are too dangerous to go to it right now, Benny. But I think another score might do it.
Johnson hit in the backfield by 7, Pinkram again, and then finished off by 44.
Yeah,
Brewer.
44 Colin Brewer. He picked up the squib kick earlier.
Loss of 1 on the play brings up 2nd and 11.
Loss of 1 on the play brings up 2nd and 11.
21-7 is your score up north, with Caravel leading 2A Caravel leading 3A Hodson. Hodson not in the rankings in 3A, but Caravel number 1, and maybe number 1 for a reason.
And we think 2A is where it's at this year.
Yeah, I agree.
In Delaware. 2A is to me, that's the fun league.
Colonel's coming on a blitz.
Good coverage.
And number 13, Smith with the catch. And he's got enough for a Woodbridge first down.
Yeah, and 6 and 19 were right there for the Colonels, and excellent coverage. That's Dominic Caven and Emir Jones. He's a junior.
That's Plummer's first completion of the game.
I mean, he threw it into traffic for sure.
1st and 10 at midfield, right on the 50. Split wide to both sides. Pistol formation with an up back. Plummer takes the snap, hand off to Whisper. Whisper hit in the backfield by number 9, Bradley Thomas, and he says you're going nowhere. We're loss of about 2 on the play, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, big tackle by Bradley Thomas, the sophomore. Very timely. That's absolutely what they needed. That'll make it 2nd and about 12.
Yeah, Thomas pinned his ear back. He was coming the whole time. And you can just catch them at the mesh point.
I mean, if they're running that pistol and only have 1 completed pass, you might as well.
Right.
You might as well sell out for the run.
2nd and 12 for the Blue Raiders at their own 48. It's going to be a toss to Johnson, looking to get outside, follow some blockers. And that was number 73. He breaks off a tackle there, Scott. Comes back and makes the tackle. That's Chris Rockwell, Jr.
Yeah, Chris Rockwell, excellent. I mean, he stood up that block in the backfield and
came off a double team.
Came off a double team and slid to the ball. Excellent play. That's how they draw it up.
Right. That's how it's supposed to be done.
That's right. Excellent job.
Makes it 3rd and 10 for the Blue Raiders. They're back at midfield. Woodbridge looking to go 2-0 on the season. And that would equal their output from last year. So already going in the right direction are the Blue Raiders.
And they look like they cleaned up a lot of things from last year.
Coming on the blitz are other Colonels. Plummer steps up, has some running room. Makes a move to the inside, and he's going to be right about a yard short of the first down. He's going to bring up 4th and 1.
Good open field tackle by 23 Mitchell. Stood his ground and made a great
wrapped up
play.
his ankles and got onto the turf.
That's right, and waited for help. He's a little slow to get up here.
Just shy.
That looks like the cramp walk.
Yeah.
Those hurt, especially you didn't get one all game, and we've ever had the 3 a.m. one?
Frequently, unfortunately,
right.
frequently. I get those.
Can remember playing high school, coming home, adrenaline's flowing, get a good night's sleep, and about 3 a.m., bam, there's the cramp.
Pre-Gatorade you drank. We should drink pickle juice.
You know what? Hydrate, young man. Hydrate all week. Not tonight.
You can't tell a 16-year-old much.
No.
They don't listen.
Sometimes you can't tell 30-year-olds.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, hardly anybody listens.
Get the boys some hydration.
And Mitchell able to get up and walk off the field under his own power. It's going to bring up a 4th and 1, and the Blue Raiders are going to go for it at the 41-yard line of Colonel Richardson.
Yeah, Coach Dooley really looking to take control of the 3rd quarter here, going forward on 4th and 1 on the 41.
Raiders looking at a 4th down.
He's looking to keep the momentum rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Direct snap.
That's Johnson carrying people. He's got another first down.
That's Bradley Thomas, 10th grader, again on the tackle, number 9. But it's tough to stop Johnson on that direct snap. I love that pistol formation. Just snap it to him and let him run. Don't even take a chance on the handoff.
Now they're going to
do it again.
The Wildcat.
Yeah.
Johnson pushes ahead for about a gain of about 8.
He's tough up there in the middle.
Yeah, he hits the hole quick, and he kind of hits it sideways, unlike Risper, who hits it just going north and south at full speed. Two different runners, but they kind of get the same results.
Yeah, Risper's almost a slashing downhill guy, and to me, Johnson's more of a, I don't want to call him a scat back because he's such a bruiser.
Right.
But
that's 2nd and 2 for the Blue Raiders. Staying in the Wildcat, and J.C. Johnson's got another first down for the Blue Raiders.
Run on 2nd down there.
Banks,
is tough to stop.
And Johnson fighting for the Louis Pizza Player of the Game award here tonight.
I mean, you got 3 Colonel Richardson players who had clear shots at him that couldn't bring him down. He's starting to take over the game a little bit here.
Yeah. 4:55 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 from the Colonel Richardson 15. They're in the red zone.
This drive kind of epitomizes the whole game for the Woodbridge Raiders.
Right. They really, what they got, Colonel had, one stop tonight. And Woodbridge has been, like you said, foot on the gas all night long.
Yeah, all gas, not much break.
Plummer back in the game at the quarterback position. And that's a handoff to number 13, Darryl Smith. And he's going in for the 15-yard touchdown run for the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, and big block on that play by Jacob Bollinger, the senior for Woodbridge. He just sealed the wall on that one. He came off the ball fast.
This extra point could put us into the running clock if Woodbridge is successful, with 4:24 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
I mean, Woodbridge favored by a touchdown, but they're playing very, very well right now.
They are.
And I don't even want to say the Colonels are playing too badly. Like on that drive, they just executed. Woodbridge just executed. There's just really not much you could do about that.
I think Cotton Collins is going to come in for the kick.
Cotton Collins.
And he's got it. So we're going to take a quick commercial timeout. Your score, Woodbridge Blue Raiders 45 and Colonel Richardson 12. We'll be right back.
Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes.
And we're back to Greenwood. Woodbridge puts 45 on the board tonight. And I think we're probably going to start seeing some backups here for Woodbridge.
Yeah, you really can't say enough about Coach Dooley. Really, the difference between last season and this season is really dramatic.
Well, execution. Last year they didn't execute. This year they are. 4 penalties tonight. And that didn't happen last year. It was, they were heavily penalized last season. This year, cleaned some things up and different result. Brewer going to fall on it again.
That's 2 in a row for Brewer.
Brewer, man, he reminds me of one of those throwback fullbacks.
Rathman.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Like Rathman.
Balls are covered by number 44 from the Colonels.
So let's see if the Colonels can answer here. Plenty of time left, and you start wanting to just let's do one series at a time. Let's just make a good play. Let's string together some good plays. Get the ball in your playmakers' hands.
Well, at this point, down 45-12, you want to come out now with positives. You want to finish this second half with some positive to take into your game when you get back into Maryland next week.
Yeah, and I thought really the first half was a lot closer than the score indicated, and that there were a lot of positives to take away. But so far this 3rd quarter, Woodbridge has really put it on.
There's that screen again. He's got it out to Turbot. Turbot's got some running room.
And that's really what we've wanted to see. Is a little bit of that screen action.
Get your athletes out in space and let them be athletes.
A little play action, waggle across. quarterback draw. I mean, what you got to do something to stop Woodbridge from their over pursuing. They're just ears back, pinned.
Scott, I think if you take away that pick six at the 2, this is a different ball game.
Yeah. Totally different game.
That widened the score, that turned the momentum, and then just Woodbridge, just like you said, all gas, no brakes tonight.
And there's just something discerning if you're on the offense and you feel like you're going in for a score, and then you turn around and Jakar Banks is flying down the sideline to score, going the other way.
That's up the middle with Brewer, maybe a yard on the play. I asked Coach Jackson about this double edge last year when they're getting ready to play Seaford, and not seeing it much. Is that something that they're using because they're small in numbers? And he said, I will run this offense all the time.
He's right. He has been running it.
That's the offense he's gonna take with him through his career. It's his second year as head coach. Like I said last year, 2A Bayside champs, back-to-back 2A Bayside champs. This is his second year as head coach.
I mean, I can see it. I can see where the value is in this offense. I can. You know, there are a couple mistakes away from being in this game.
Yeah.
You know,
another thing about Coach Jackson, more impressive than anything, is went back and got his bachelor's over the summer, and
that's not easy to do.
That's not easy to do. And that young man did it. Oh, he is wrapped up, thrown to the ground. Again, that's number 15, Cameron Johnson, another guy having a great game on defense.
He's having a great game. He's going to be in the running for the Pest of the game.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be a tough choice for, you know, if this keeps going, for who's going to be player of the game.
That's right.
I mean, the Woodbridge has quite a few choices.
As much as I hate to go with 2, we might be in a position tonight to have to.
I mean, we kind of can, right?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. Let me call the boss.
Text Louie and see
I'll call Tony Gubis and say, hey, man, we got an issue.
Can we give out 2 pies?
Talked to him. Matter of fact, just Tuesday night. And very excited to be a sponsor.
Now, when you were working downtown, how often you eat there?
Too much.
Too much, yeah, me too.
That's why I'm not slender.
Yeah, well, that's why you can't make 118 ever again.
Oh, my goodness.
For wrestling.
218 I'm not going to make.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, Tony, really excited. That's a family business. Is what, 72? Louis started, and now the third generation's in there. Tony's son's now running the business some.
Yeah, and I can speak from experience running, you know, a restaurant for that long. It's not an easy thing.
No.
I'm 32 years in, and it does not get easier.
I remember I suggested one time on their 25th anniversary they should go to prices 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And Louis was like, oh, no.
Yeah, no. Well, they used to have a sign up.
This time we're going to get Mitchell, and it's
good
incomplete.
Hands. Number 9 stripped that ball.
Yes, he did.
Markel Clark.
Markel Clark, we've called that name quite a bit tonight.
He's had an excellent game too.
Number 9, Markel Clark.
He's a junior. He can get up and down the field.
That's going to bring up a 4th down and 16. No, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be about a 4th down and 20.
Woodbridge has players all over the field right now.
Mm-hmm.
They got their starters in still.
Starting to look a little bit like the Woodbridge of a few years ago, although it was hard to do what those teams did, winning 2 state titles, one in 2016, one in 2018.
And then they were in the finals in 21, right?
Yes. Lost to Archmere. And he's going to pick it up off the roll. This is number 2 again, Banks. And, oh, my God, spins out of a tackle. But number 19, Dominique Havin says, nah, not going to happen, son. No more returns for you.
He looks like number 7, Sam Schroeder, was down on that play.
So 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders. It looks like Schroeder down, maybe cramp type issue. He got up and then went back down.
So 45-12. Woodbridge has the ball. 1st and 10 on their own 28. Still in the 3rd quarter, Benny.
I know, minute 24 to go in the 3rd. A Woodbridge score would put us into the running clock.
Just a reminder again to stay hydrated.
Public address announcer with a little bit of
medical advice.
Medical advice.
I think that violates the HIPAA code.
Schroeder able to walk off under his own power.
support your Woodbridge High School athletes. Take a trip to concession stand, get some chips, candy, sodas, Gatorade, water.
So Woodbridge will be 1st and 10, ball at their own 33-yard line. And the Woodbridge offense comes on. Plummer will stay in. We're going to see number 6, Malachi Hayes in the backfield, and 33, Tyler Eli, who had a big run back in the second quarter.
I mean, not a whole lot of drop-off with those two guys coming in. I mean, we've seen some good runs from them so far. Smart to get Johnson off, though, and Risper.
And it's going to be a handoff to number 6, Hayes. And he's going to be about a loss of a yard, bring up 2nd down and 11.
And that's Pickram, number 7, the sophomore on the tackle, slashing into the backfield.
Playing nose guard. He's a big boy.
He's actually got really quick feet. I've been watching him quite a bit today. He's got nice quick feet. He's got fast hands, and he gets to the ball.
2nd and 11 for Woodbridge. 55 seconds to go here in the third quarter. They lead 45-12. Plummer goes to the shotgun with backs on either side. It's going to be a handoff again to Hayes. Hayes stiff arm, looking for some running room, cuts it back in. He's going to pick up about 4 on the play. Brings up 3rd down.
And Hayes' stiff arm really saved that from being a loss of yards, and he stays in bounds.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 7.
I mean, staying in bounds is what the Woodbridge guys want right now.
The last thing, clock to run, right?
Yeah, the last thing they want is to let Colonel Richardson hang around a little bit and get an opportunity to get some drives. So the more they could stay on the field, stay within in fair territory, the better they're going to be.
And that's going to take us to the fourth quarter. Your score at the end of 3. The Woodbridge Blue Raiders 45, the Colonel Richardson Colonels 12. We'll be right back after this commercial timeout.
In life, some things just go together, like a burger and fries, and home and auto insurance from State Farm. So make it a combo. Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Just call State Farm agent Juwan Johnson and find out how you could start saving today. It's just another way we're here to help life go right.
Congratulations, Dover Federal, on 60 years in business in Delaware. You've been by our side since our doors opened.
Thank you so much for giving me a call on so many years ago when I had no credit.
You helped our business grow into what it is today.
As a military family, thank you for supporting the financial needs of servicemen and their loved ones.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
And welcome back to Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports. I'm Benny Mitchell with Scott Kammerer, our second football production of the season, but just week 1 here in Delaware as we, for some reason, have a week 0. I guess college does it, so high school says we'll do it.
A week 0 on a Thursday.
That's right. 2 back-to-back Thursday games. Next week we'll be on Friday night. We're going to be about 18 miles south of here when the Caesar Rodney Riders come to visit the Laurel Bulldogs. 3rd and 7 play here at the start of the fourth quarter.
And we got to see Laurel in the first game of the season against Sussex Central. They're a 1A team. They jumped up to 3A.
2A.
2A,
played
but they played a
3A
team. And they gave Sussex Central everything they could handle.
I was impressed with the Laurel Bulldogs. I originally, when we first started voting our rankings, I had them down below 5, and now I have them back up in the 3 position. I think they're going to be a tougher team than people thought. It's going to bring up 4th and 9 here for the Blue Raiders, and on comes the punt team. And back deep goes number 11, Jazeer Dickerson. This kid.
He's got breakaway speed himself, Benny.
Lightning in a bottle, I tell you.
He really does.
Run.
And he stepped out around, 8 or 10 on his return.
Right.
Really keep it from him scoring. So it's 4th and 9 on the 29.
Nice snap, able to bring it down, gets it away. And a nice end over end. Bounces, takes a Woodbridge bounce. Dickerson wisely gets away from it. And down by number 15, Cameron Johnson at
Dickerson, only a freshman. I've been impressed by his his game ability to make good decisions. Stayed away from a couple punts that could have been iffy.
Right. That one there, he looked like he wanted to.
He wanted it. He would love to pick that up and show what he could do on the return.
Cameron Johnson right there.
Wisely stayed away from it.
1st and 10 for the Richardson Colonels. They got the stop. We said they needed a couple stops in this game. They got them, but Woodbridge just too much tonight for the Colonels. Hammond comes up under center in the double wedge. He's going to roll out to his left, steps, throws. He's sacked. Number 76, Jacob Hanley, gets the hand on him and pulls him down.
Jacob Hanley with the one-arm sack. And Hammond's
Hammond almost got that ball away.
He almost got that ball away. And he had a guy. He had somebody open. He just couldn't convert. But Hanley with one hand pulling him to the ground.
That's going to be a loss of about 6 on the play. 2nd and 16 for Colonel Richardson.
Yeah, and the Colonels on their own 30. Like we said, not terrible field position, just haven't really been able to make it work for them. But they've been in position to make plays all game.
Under 10 minutes to play here. 2nd and 16 for the Colonels. That ball is on the ground, and I believe Woodbridge might have it. They do. Woodbridge recovers the fumble. 3rd turnover of the game.
Yes, that's a play they've run a bunch, and they've had a couple times have trouble mishandling it. But Woodbridge is warming up their backup quarterback on the sideline, number 17, Ryan Scott. Let's see if they send him in.
9:55 to play. Woodbridge with the turnover in Colonel Richardson territory at the Colonel 35.
Looks like the Woodbridge Raiders have not made
the quarterback change yet.
The quarterback change, or really made too many changes. Looks like Johnson and
just the two backs.
Risper were the only two, but they have 33 and 6 in there who have done a good job in some of their mop-up duty here. That's Tyler Eli. He has a touchdown.
Toss out to 6, Hayes.
Malachi.
He's able to step out of a tackle, and he's going to go out of bounds inside the 10, it looks like.
That's Malachi Hayes. He's a sophomore for Woodbridge.
Well, they've been spelling the running backs, because the two running, but Risper and Johnson are playing both ways. So they've come in to spell them a little bit, and what game action they're getting tonight.
Yeah, it looks like they're flipping it now, and they're getting the bulk of the carries here. And if they punch this in, this will be a running clock.
Ball at the 15, 1st and 10, 9:48 to play here in the contest.
And this game really just kind of got away from the Colonels. Really pretty even, and it just kind of got away from them.
The difference was Jacara Banks.
I mean, it's hard to argue with that.
98 yards on an INT, 98 yards on a kick return, and just put the nail in the coffin.
I mean, you're talking about him or Johnson, really, for your players of the game.
Right. And that's going to be Hayes in for a touchdown.
Unless Hayes scores 4 in the next 9 minutes.
Right. And that's going to put us into a running clock.
Woodbridge just too much for the Colonels here tonight.
And the referee winds the clock. Cotton Collins will kick the extra point. It's 51-12.
Cotton Collins done a little bit of everything here tonight, Benny.
Absolutely.
Kickoff, extra points, played some good defense.
Scott, that lightning staying on the suburbs of Greenwood here tonight, staying away from us.
We're going to call that heat lightning.
Yeah. We're due for some rain this weekend. Overdue for some rain this weekend. My grass has turned a whole different color.
That's all right. The less you cut it, the better.
On the hold is number 7, Schroeder. I can't see who the snapper is. The kick is up and good. Woodbridge has 52. Since we're in a running clock, we'll just stay right here, Scott.
Cotton Collins converting.
2 of them tonight. Woodbridge up 40 here on the Colonels. And that, like we said, if you're just tuning in watching this game, it wasn't like this in the second quarter. It was as you said, a pick six on the doorstep of Colonel scoring. That just turned the momentum of the game.
Yeah, and really, we talked about it. Jakar Banks just really kind of a difference maker in a couple of different situations. His speed and big playability just kind of turned the tide a little bit, and the Colonels really didn't have an answer for that. They're looking for their double wedge, earthquake kind of offense, grind the ball down, and Woodbridge, we talked about in the beginning of the game, are the big players going to make big plays for Woodbridge, or is Hammond and Turbot going to make the plays? And really, it's not that Hammond and Turbot didn't. It's really that Woodbridge had so many big plays.
Tracy Johnson on to kick it away. What hasn't he done tonight? Next week, probably be selling popcorn in the concession stand. He's played offense, defense. Now he's going to kick the ball away. Scored 3 touchdowns, 3 extra points.
He's had a heck of a season so far.
Right.
It's only 2 games in. It's only week 1.
Right, 6 touchdowns on the season. That's going to be number 12 taking the kick, Dylan Cecil.
Dylan Cecil, when his number get called, he came out swinging. He got his money's worth on that run.
Got the ball back to about the 48-yard line of their own 48. Now it's going to be 1st and 10. Colonel Richardson, 7-10 and counting here in the 4th quarter.
Woodbridge fans feeling it now. They're getting a little wave going, Ben.
Right, yeah. The Greenwood wave.
Got to mention that Woodbridge, I'm going to call it the new school because I've been around a while.
Right.
But the new school is beautiful.
It is. I've been inside a few times for some events.
Great facility, good sports facilities out here.
Just got a little trivia while we're got some time. Woodbridge made up, of course, everybody knows of Greenwood High School and Woodbridge High School, or excuse me, Bridgeville High School. Do you know, Scott, their mascots, Bridgeville's mascot and Woodbridge's or Greenwood's mascot?
We talked about this last time. I do not know, but I'm sure someone in the chat might know. Bridgeville and Greenwood.
Offsides against defense.
Were they the Hornets?
Nope. Bridgeville were the Mustangs. Woodbridge was the Foresters. Maybe the Red and Forest. I don't know. They were the Foresters. My mom and dad grew up in Bridgeville, and I've always asked them.
Wait, Greenwood was the Foresters?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess.
I always ask my parents, where's the bridge in Bridgeville?
What'd they say?
I don't know.
Go to sleep, young man.
Yeah.
Quit asking us questions. So the Bridgeville Mustangs.
Yes. And Derek Mitchell on the carry. He's going to have enough for a 1st down, I think. He's going to be right on the crisp of it. Pickup of about 5 on the play.
Yeah, I was driving through Milton today thinking.
There is a ditch out on Atlanta Road. Maybe there's a bridge over there.
I liked it when they had the smaller schools.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see why they consolidated things and made it easier from a administration standpoint.
Sure.
But I think it's more opportunity when you have all these small schools.
Well, if they go back to, you have more superintendents, more principals.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Right. 2nd and 1 here for Colonel Richardson. So he's just shy of the 1st down.
Some of those gyms that they played in were incredible.
Oh my God. My dad used to tell me back in the 40s, Seaford was one of the biggest gyms around. Pickup of about 8 for number 12, King Peden. He's got a 1st down. I'm sorry, 12, Dylan Cecil. That was Woodbridge, number 12 is King Peden.
4:34 left in the game, running clock. Woodbridge Blue Raiders 52.
Yeah, Woodbridge subbing in on the defense. And your linebackers, your secondary all new.
I mean, Woodbridge really put together a complete game. You really can't emphasize it enough that
it's going to be Mitchell on the counter.
The biggest point, I think, the takeaway, I think, for a positive for the Blue Raiders is lack of penalties and very disciplined.
Yep.
We didn't see any real blown assignments. Not that we know all the schemes, but for the most part, I didn't see anything that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see that on film.
Right.
We really didn't see any of that. They played a clean game. I mean, a very clean game.
Coming up at the end of the game, we'll have a quick wrap-up with the Surf Bagel post-game stats. Most of them already totaled up. Dave Marvel with the starters out will be able to get us the individual stats.
Dave Marvel is on it.
That's number 7 on the carry, Pickram. Boy, he's carrying some people with him.
We said that before. I might have given that young man the ball a few times earlier in the game.
Tackle made by number 27, a number we do not have on the Woodbridge roster. I have to get up with Coach Dooley with that before the next game. First down for Pickram.
I'm going to say somebody left their jersey at home.
Could be.
Or a JV player got called up. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, it's a home game for Woodbridge, so they may have dressed more people. Yeah. Ball inside the red zone at the 17.
I like Pickram, though. I think I'd give him the ball. Little nose tackle fullback combo. And he's had a tough assignment playing against Jacob Bollinger all game.
He's only a junior. That's Cecil on the carry. He picks up about 4. It's going to bring up second down. 2:30 to play here in the contest. Running clock. I'm sure Coach Jackson will like his team to get a positive here at the end, get a score, get on the bus, and get ready for next week.
Yeah, and you know, you look at the score and you might think it was a complete blowout, and I did see a lot of positive from the Colonels. I really did. And I think that Woodbridge is better than we thought they were.
I agree.
And what other people in the state maybe did.
Yeah, a lot of people, including myself, thinking close game here tonight. We have a new quarterback in. That's number 9, Bradley Thomas.
Black iPhone, get it out now.
And he has off to Pickram.
Because you can't find it, then it might be at the concession stand. You will have to be able to unlock it. As we run down on the last minute and 40 seconds here, as soon as the clock runs out, we are going to ask all fans to please exit the bleachers as quickly and safely as possible.
Minute 34 to play.
In the area, we are asking all fans to exit the stadium as quickly as possible.
And we have a stoppage. And they're going to call the game, I think, due to the lightning. Let's get a quick wrap up here, Scott.
The ball game.
Brought to you by Surf Bagel. Woodbridge with 267 total yards. Colonel Richardson with 133. 11 passing for the Raiders. 256 rushing. And for Colonel Richardson, 61 passing, 72 rushing. I think, Scott, we're going to have to go double player of the game.
Can't argue with that.
We'll have to go with number 2, Jacare Banks, and number 9, number 8, Tracy Johnson, our pest of the game. I'm going to go Quincy Risper. He did a lot of little different things here that helped Woodbridge win this thing.
He did a lot of little things and he did a lot of big things right. And Quincy Risper was that difference maker tonight. I think the big time players for Woodbridge did what they needed to do. Quincy Risper delivered. Jacare Banks delivered. They all really played well. Bollinger played well on the offensive line. So great game by Woodbridge. Colonels a little bit outgunned here tonight. I think that they should not hang their heads too much. They need to clean it up a little bit and be ready to play next week.
Next week, we travel south on Route 13 to Laurel as the Bulldogs will host the Caesar Rodney Riders. Soto Concept pregame show 6:35 with kickoff at 7. College football tomorrow. University of Delaware has a tough one. They're going to Penn State, kickoff at noon. And then the Delaware State Hornets, doesn't get much easier for them. 0-1. They take on 0-1 Army at noon. Big game tomorrow in college football, Texas and Alabama. That's a wrap for tonight's Downstate Game of the Week. For Donald Flowers, Scott Kammerer, Dave Marvel, I'm Benny Mitchell. Thank you for watching. Your final score, Woodbridge 52, Colonel Richardson 12.